Mm-hmm. No. What's that? Hey,
Explain to me what has happened.
It's 901 FC. I have no idea.
Explain to me. Because I just was like, okay, I got a second to just stuck on Facebook. And I was like, hold on a second. I don't think it's either. I don't see anybody.
No. I have no idea. We're here. ESPN Plus needs us. Memphis 9-1 FC return home off an emphatic win at Birmingham Legion. Today they face an unbeaten Tampa Bay club that has conceded just 7 goals all season. Saturday afternoon soccer from Memphis is on tap. Good afternoon and welcome to the excitement of USL Championship soccer from AutoZone Park in downtown Memphis, Tennessee. Memphis 9-1 FC, fresh off a 3-0 victory over Birmingham Legion, take on the unbeaten Tampa Bay Rowdies. And we welcome you inside the broadcast booth. I'm Pete Pranica, JJ Greer, former University of Memphis soccer star, on hand to call it for you. And JJ, for 9-1 FC, 5 consecutive defeats. They get the breakthrough against their rivals, Birmingham.
A win that they absolutely had to have in Birmingham. Of course, the Southern Harm, as we like to call it, big-time rivalry. 9-1 FC needed that victory. Coming off of 5 straight losses, they stopped the bleeding, and they did so emphatically.
And now they have momentum to face Tampa Bay. Manuel Arteaga, 5 goals, 19 last year for Phoenix Rising. Dangerous anywhere on that pitch.
The big 6'1" Venezuelan striker is off to a phenomenal start with the Rowdies. Pete, you said it, 5 goals and an assist through 7 matches played. Arteaga is a really great fit for the Rowdies because he's a big target striker that stays between the posts and finishes his opportunities. I think he will get opportunities tonight. He and Kyle Jennings have been a dynamic 1-2 punch for this high-powered Tampa Bay Rowdies offense.
It is a great Tampa Bay offense, +9 in goal differential. For 9-1 FC, Bruno Lapa with a brace against his old club, Birmingham Legion. Finally, the breakthrough that Stephen Glass and 9-1 FC have been looking for.
Absolutely. The 26-year-old Brazilian midfielder finally found his footing in that 9-1 FC attack, coming off the 2-goal Team of the Week performance at Birmingham. Lapa has incredible vision, and he's a very capable finisher inside the 18-yard box, as we saw last week. It's going to be warm on the pitch this afternoon, but 9-1 FC will need his work rate in the attacking third to be high, and they have to get him the ball early and often.
Getting finishes, that has been an issue for 9-1 FC, converting just 12% of their chances. They hope to do better this afternoon as they take on Tampa Bay. Hey, Mark, your key to all the camera guys remains open to us. I don't know if you want to do that.
Say that again?
Your key with all the instruction to the camera guys was open. No, and the recording just kept rolling with my request. Yeah. No, that's that. Yeah, yeah, no. Is it live? Is it live or is it Memorex? And welcome back to downtown Memphis, Tennessee. 901 FC and the Tampa Bay Rowdies about to hit the pitch here. It is Star Wars Day, and it's May the 4th, so May the 4th be with you. We've got some Rowdy fans in the building today. Let's get the starting 11s for this afternoon's matchup between these two rivals. Formerly both in the Eastern Conference, Memphis going to the Western Conference this year. The starting 11s presented by AutoZone. For Tampa Bay, they come in with a record of 3 victories and 4 draws, a +9 goal differential on the season. And you see Arteaga is going to be a prime focus for this Tampa Bay offense. Jordan Farr, who has a couple of clean sheets, will be in the sticks for Tampa Bay this afternoon. Robbie Nielsen in his first season as head coach. As you see, Arteaga will be up top, along with Pacific Niangabiri, Crisostomo, Perez, Bodley, Munjomo, and you see Farr in the sticks this afternoon. For 901 FC, they come in with 2 victories, bookended with 5 defeats, a -2 goal differential. Bruno Lapa up top. Dylan Borzak getting a start today, along with Marlon and Fernando up top. Tyler Derrick back in the sticks for head coach Stephen Glass. Those are the starting lineups for the two teams this afternoon as the clouds have begun to roll in here in downtown Memphis. Memphis did have success against the Rowdies last year in Tampa Bay, taking a 4-2 decision in Tampa Bay at Al Lang Stadium last year. And Memphis 901 FC at home, and then they go away, JJ, for 3. But I would have to imagine, I talked to Stephen Glass yesterday, and he felt that the win against Birmingham, a rivalry win on the road, on artificial turf, with Bruno Lapa breaking through for a brace, he felt that that was really good for the spirit of this 901 FC club that had suffered 5 straight defeats.
And you can really see your Brazilian strike force starting to click, right, between Bruno Lapa and Marlon, who had 2 assists to Bruno Lapa, who had the brace, of course, against Birmingham Legion, and the defense held a shutout, right? And so a really huge win. 901 FC will look to carry that momentum into this game against a really tough Tampa Bay Rowdy side.
Leon Gabiri is over the ball, and we are underway in downtown Memphis. We have had sunshine, we have had clouds, we've had overcast, pretty much everything except a threat of rain, thankfully. Tampa Bay in their road white kits, Memphis in their home dark blue. That's sent away by Turchi. And Borzak onto it for 901 FC. 901 FC, as we've been talking about, off a 3-0 victory over Birmingham Legion at Protective Stadium. 901 FC, all kinds of frustration against Birmingham in recent years. Fernando, double mark. Bodley is there and dispossesses Fernando, so a throw in for Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay likewise coming off, JJ, a 3-0 victory. They took out New Mexico United, and we should mention, if you were paying close attention to the starting 11s, Cal Jennings not in the starting 11 for Tampa Bay this afternoon, but he is certainly available to come in off the bench. Another dynamic goal scorer. He had a brace in that victory over New Mexico United.
I suspect we will absolutely see Cal Jennings, most likely in the second half. We got a foul here. Now, I don't want to see we'll play quickly, but I think we will certainly see Cal Jennings. I think every time he touches the pits against 901 FC, I think he's probably scored a goal, if not 2 goals, every time he's faced 901 FC. Of course, Manuel Arteaga, the man up top for Tampa Bay Rowdies, we featured him early in the match. He and Cal Jennings have been such a dynamic duo up top for 901 FC, so I suspect they'll get some minutes together in this game.
It is an outstanding offensive attack, and a run through and a professional foul is taken by Turchi. As we get the whistle from Alexis De Silva, he is in charge of the match this afternoon.
It's a mazy run there from Blake Podley. Just took off running through probably a 40-yard run right down the center of the pitch, dribbled past 3 or 4 901 FC players for Lucas Turchi. As you mentioned, Pete, took the professional foul there. Turchi's might be a little bit fortunate not to catch a yellow card early on in this match.
So again, Alexis De Silva is in charge of the match. Ethan Bugi and Eric Del Rosario are assisting, and Andrew Mishashi is the 4th official this afternoon. So a free kick, and you see Tampa Bay trying to tamp down the turf there in the infield here at AutoZone Park. This will be Lewis Hilton. Hilton, long-time member of the Rowdies, over 100 appearances, now in his 5th season. I would say in green and gold, but they're not wearing green and gold this afternoon. But that is the familiar color scheme of Tampa Bay, and you see the 2 stars above their logo. And Tampa Bay, no matter what league they've played in, no matter what the situation has been, Tampa Bay Rowdies has always been an outstanding soccer club.
You mentioned it, Pete. They've been successful for a long time. Lewis Hilton standing over this free kick, probably going to go to that back post to the big center back, Forrest Lasso.
Chips it over the top, and it is headed wide of the mark. Tyler Derrick trying to get his defense organized. Tyler Derrick, I think, has done a very good job with his poise between the sticks, helping the back line. There have been some knocks on that back line, trying to get everybody healthy, but I think Tyler Derrick, first season here with 901 FC after playing with Rio Grande Valley, I think he has been of real benefit, and he's coming off maybe his best performance of the year as the foul is given there, and it's Marlon going to the floor. But Tyler Derrick, the leadership, 6 saves and big saves against Birmingham.
Absolutely. He's the consummate professional. I believe that was, I think I read, Pete, that was his 100th professional appearance in the USL Championship. Of course, got the shutout, which 901 FC needed. He's a fearless goalkeeper, and he leads through example and communication. So, huge pickup for 901 FC.
He's played forward. Lapa can't quite get there. Held by Memphis and ping-pong back and forth through the air. But Memphis with possession. Memphis last year very good with possession. This year only 47% on average possession. And their passing accuracy has taken a hit from where it was last year. But it's been a largely retooled roster as Eddie Manjoma going to ground there near touchline. And we'll get a whistle from Alexis Del Silva. You get a look at Manjoma, native of McKinney, Texas, his first season in Tampa Bay.
Pete, looks like off camera there, the head coach for the Tampa Bay Rowdies, Robbie Nielsen, was issued a yellow card.
Wow, that might be one of the quickest coaching yellow cards I think I've ever seen. Coming in the 5th minute of this match, Robbie Nielsen, new as the head coach for Tampa Bay, named to the position in November of last year. Over 350 matches coached in the Scottish Premiership and also coaching in England. Long playing career with Heart of Midlothian, and then went on to coach that club as well.
Not too sure what he could have been so upset about. I'm sure he had some words there for our center official, Alexis De Silva, but there hasn't really been a lot of action or a lot of controversial calls. Maybe the professional foul on Lucas Turchi in midfield, but that had happened, a couple minutes ago, it seemed. Yeah.
The only thing I think that he could be dissenting about might have been the lack of a card, but I think a card at that point might have been a 50-50 decision. In any event, Tampa Bay looking to put it in play. 901 FC, what they're trying to do, and they will try to do against this very dynamic Tampa Bay offense, is just try to make the entry balls as difficult as possible. That certainly applies to Cal Jennings, but I think it applies to Arteaga as well. Don't give them clean looks, clean touches where they can go to goal. And neither team able to do much with possession here in the early going of this one.
You're exactly right, Pete. The Rowdies, with this particular lineup they have in with Arteaga up top, I think they'll get it out wide and look to put in service into Arteaga. They're certainly, in my opinion, less dynamic without Cal Jennings on the pitch next to Arteaga. But we were talking about it before, Pete. A lot of games right now at this point of the season when you take into account U.S. Open Cup as well.
Jimenez restarting the match. Carson Bob Stieg. The Rowdies in an unusual situation. They will face Birmingham Legion twice in succession. Wednesday as part of the U.S. Open Cup. Nifty footwork there by Crisostomo. And then Derek distributes it, and that will go out for a Tampa Bay throw-in. So Tampa Bay will play Birmingham Legion in the U.S. Open Cup on Wednesday and then play them next Saturday in USL Championship play. So very, very unusual lineup the way that is going to go for Tampa Bay. And I believe both those matches will be at Al Lang Stadium, where Tampa Bay has been absolutely fantastic throughout their history. They're 2-0-2 this year, and another foul given in this game getting rather physical, and Lewis Hilton less than happy with the decision of Alexis De Silva. Let's get the Campbell Clinic injury report. Oh, here's a long ball played ahead for Borzak, and it is offside anyway. But the Campbell Clinic injury report, Nico Brett is going to be out with an upper body injury for the foreseeable future. Zane Bub, Fernandez, and Harivo are all out for Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay did not specify which specific injury was incurred, but Campbell Clinic bringing you the injury report. And thankfully for 901 FC, it's a relatively light injury report. They've had some knocks earlier in the season and starting to get back to full health, and that's always the most important thing. You see on the left wrist of Alexis Del Silva, the blue wristband, as you look at Stephen Glass, the manager of 901 FC. Throughout the month of May, the officials are supporting Huntington's Disease Society of America, their drive to increase awareness of the fight against Huntington's disease. Former referee Terry Vaughn was a patient with Huntington's disease, and all his official colleagues are honoring him. Terry Vaughn had officiated in the MLS, USL, and NWSL. And today is the first anniversary of Terry's passing from Huntington's disease. And so all the officials at virtually every level of soccer are wearing those blue wristbands to raise awareness. Run here started by Neon Gebiri, and it's out for a Memphis throw. JJ, not a lot of flow to this match early. Does that favor 901 FC?
You know what? In my opinion, it looks like Tampa Bay Rowdies have elected to kind of sit back a little bit more and maybe hit 901 FC on that counterattack. It seems like they've started this game a little bit slower than I'm accustomed to them doing in terms of just absorbing pressure and then maybe breaking loose. 901 FC have certainly taken it to the Tampa Bay Rowdies in terms of possession. You mentioned it earlier, Pete, the 901 FC haven't seen as much possession this season as they're accustomed to having, but here's a nice ball right here.
Zach Duncan with his first touch, and are we going to get a whistle? We are going to get a whistle, and we may get a card as well, and a protest from Jordan Farr. And they have won a penalty, have 901 FC. It's the first one they have won this year.
It looks like a red card,
and
Pete.
A red card for Lasso.
Might be just outside of the box, though.
It was right at the edge of the area, and Forrest Lasso apparently will be sent off here in the 11th minute.
Wow, it was incredible through ball by Zach Duncan. right at midfield there, just whipped it right around Forrest Lasso's shoulder, and Marlon Santos, of course, just got the best of him, and you could see the arm was outstretched from Lasso and just pulled him right down. And Alexis De Silva, the center official for this match, gives him the red card, and Lasso will be on his way.
All right, so Tampa Bay down a man, and that did appear to occur outside the area, so it will not be a penalty, but a free kick from certainly an extremely dangerous position for 901 FC. And what a breakout this could be if the home club could get the conversion here. And Lasso with the clear takedown of Marlon.
I think it was a fair call, Pete. It looked like Marlon clearly was in front of him. You could see the arm kind of get outstretched. Lasso was clearly caught in a bad position, and he just pulled him down right outside the 18-yard box. He was the last man, so that was why the red card was issued.
Alexis De Silva shakes his head, said nope, it's the right call. And now Farr is down. We remember that Farr came out earlier with that play that was whistled offside with Dylan Borzak. And so Farr remains down. Farr, the keeper for Tampa Bay, 2 prior seasons with San Antonio, was the championship keeper of the year in 2022, and getting attention to his left leg.
I'm not sure what happened to Jordan Farr there. It didn't seem like on that particular play, PD, he came out, and seems like maybe a non-contact injury. He came out and looked like they're stretching his hamstring potentially.
Did you look at the Memphis 901 FC technical area? So they continue to work on Jordan Farr, and while they do that, we will tell you that the USL on the CBS networks continues in the month of May. Detroit City FC takes on defending championship title winners Phoenix Rising. That'll be on Saturday, May 11th, so a week from today. That's at 6:30 Eastern on the CBS Sports Network. No other USL Championship matches will begin for the next couple hours. Charleston will be at home against Hartford Athletic. That will kick at 5:30 Central Time. Pittsburgh at home against Miami. And Loudoun United at home against Detroit. So Jordan Farr back on his feet. And a free kick coming from about 20 yards out.
Very dangerous free kick opportunity right here for 901 FC. I'm curious to see, Pete, who will take this free kick. Looks like currently all the Brazilians are standing over it. You got Bruno Lapa over it with his right foot. You got Lucas Turchi standing over the ball with his powerful left foot. And you also got Luis Fernando standing over it. Well, it looks like he's backing off with his left foot. So you've got 2 very capable players, one right foot, one left foot player. I think if Bruno Lapa is the one to take it, he'll look to get it up and over that wall to Jordan Farr's near post, and Lucas Turchi potentially could go either side, right to the far post of Jordan Farr or up and over the wall as well.
Memphis has scored 3 of their 8 goals this season in the first quarter hour. This would fall right in that time frame. Anticipation hanging heavy over AutoZone Park. So Forrest Lasso sent off with a straight red.
Looks like a substitution was made as well.
Freddie Kleeman has come on for Tampa Bay. So the whistle and the left-footed strike is right into the wall. And so nothing comes of that promising opportunity for the home club.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for 901 FC. You can see what Lucas Turchi was trying to do, just go for pure power along the ground, the worm burner, if you will, but too many Tampa Bay Rowdies players in position.
That's set through and then knocked down.
Really dangerous moments right now for Tampa Bay Rowdies. Jordan Farr came off his line. He was outside of the box, actually. It looked like he was about to catch the ball, remembered where he was, and then elected to head the ball, but didn't get much clearance on it. And Marlin trying to chip the goalkeeper, but did not execute.
First red card for Tampa Bay since the 4th of June last year against Sacramento. And Memphis at the moment is dominating possession 70% to 30%.
And Pete, we were talking about it before the match. 901 FC really dominating this match so far, but nothing to show for it right now. And that's something that I know head coach Stephen Glass has been concerned about, and he's challenged his team to correct that. Of course, they did last time out versus Birmingham Legion, but 901 FC a huge advantage right now, a man up and dominating this game, but they got to get a goal to show for it.
Ward, ball played forward. Marlin bobbles it and then gets very little on it.
It's a fantastic ball there from Hakeem Ward, and Marlin, we've seen him get all over the pitch. He's getting himself in all the right positions.
Marlin, first season with 901 FC. This is a great ball by Ward. Nice little curling ball, and Santos just a mistouch there. And defended by Freddie Kleeman, who had come on as a substitute. And hostilities beginning to flare is Zach Duncan. And Lewis Hilton has been rather chippy and rather physical since the opening kick. I think composure is going to be a vital thing in this afternoon's match. Marlin weaving his way, right foot, crossing, and did that take a touch? It did, and it will be a corner kick for 901 FC, their first of the match.
Pete, you mentioned it earlier. It's been a very strange game, right?
Very
the flow
strange.
of it has been all off. Neither team. Well, 901 FC has been able to get pretty good possession. You see here Dylan Borzak skipping past a couple of Tampa Bay Rowdies players. Marlin this time just says, you know what, I'm just going to shoot the ball 25 yards out, no problem. Gets the deflection, but really a strange match so far. I think we're going to see a decent amount of stoppage time potentially at the end of this first half.
Yeah, because we had Lasso being sent off in the 11th minute, and then Farr went down with a leg injury. Jimenez, outswinger. Marlin couldn't get his head on it, and so it is cleared where Tyler Derrick will play it for 901 FC.
With that Lasso red card, such a huge advantage now for 901 FC. It's warm outside on the pitch. Of course, Tampa Bay Rowdies are used to the warm humidity, but still, you go down to 10 men so early on in the match. It's really the opportunity now for 901 FC to take it to them.
That's headed back. They're run onto by Duncan. Duncan, and he's taken down. Borzak can't get to it. Marlin with the ball at his feet. He shoots, he scores! Marlin breaks through for the home club in the 19th minute. Marlin, his account has been opened in Memphis.
What a phenomenal strike from the Brazilian Marlin. We've seen him get chance after chance after chance, even from 4 or 5 yards out. This time puts his foot on the ball, makes a nice move, and just what an incredible strike that was from probably 25 yards out straight into the top corner.
In 2029 goals for Birmingham Legion, opens his Memphis account. And Memphis has done really good work with very direct passing. There was the play on, and then the ball falls to Marlin. Great footwork and a right-footed strike that beats Farr to the upper 90.
Such an incredible strike, Pete, because he didn't have a lot of backlift as well. Didn't have a lot of time. Nice little move right there. And just gets that from underneath his feet quickly, whips it into the top corner. Jordan Farr did not stand a chance on that one. You see the celebration there, and I tell you what, Tampa Bay Rowdies are in a world of trouble now.
When I talked to Stephen Glass yesterday, I said, what was the big thing against Birmingham Legion? He said, getting the second goal. Well, 901 FC's got one. Marlin in the 20th minute opens his Memphis account.
And Pete, I think in this game especially, that second goal is going to be very crucial. I should say going 2-0 up. The second goal before the Rowdies potentially get another goal. I think if you go up 2 goals with the Rowdies being down a man as well, that could potentially just crush the souls of this Tampa Bay Rowdies team, which is exactly what you want to do, of course, in this first half.
Tampa Bay unbeaten coming into this match. 3 victories, 4 draws. They drew their first 2 matches of the season, but they have taken all the points in 2 of the last 3. Ward, another long ball. Borzak onto it, trying a little give and go combination with Santos. Now to Lapa. Lapa gives it a go, and it's parried aside.
I'll tell you what, 901FC really starting to feel themselves now. Lots of 1-2s, give and goes. It started from the back, actually, between Lucas Turchi and Emerson Hyman, Akeem Ward. Some really nice interplay. And then, of course, Lapa and Borzak combining well as well. See a little flick there from Borzak, and Lapa says, you know what, I'm going to take this off the half volley. Really good parry there from the goalkeeper, Jordan Farr.
Farr, a 708 save percentage, adds to it with that save. This is a Tampa Bay club that has not faced a ton of adversity, but they're looking at it right now.
Just a huge opportunity for 901FC on the opposite end of that to really continue taking it to this Tampa Bay Rowdies side. You know, a man up, a goal up as well early on. It's an opportunity now for 901FC to just potentially throw everything forward.
Munjoma, he starts a run. Tried to flare it wide, intercepted by Akeem Ward. 901FC leads the championship, an average of 13 interceptions per game, and now in space for Marlin. Marlin with a cross, it's the second goal! A brilliant goal! Luis Fernando with the finish. And Marlin has been an early contender for man of the match. And like lightning, 901FC, 2-0 over Tampa Bay.
Once again, the Brazilian connection, this time Marlin to Fernando. You said it, Pete. Marlin's been all over the pitch this afternoon. He's taken that momentum from last game. As you can see here, it's a wonderful ball, entry ball, through ball from Emerson Hyndman, and Marlin has just had his wheels flowing. This time with the left foot, the assist, left foot, Fernando. What a chip that was as well. That's just a deft chip right over the right shoulder of Jordan Farr. Look at this finish, ladies and gentlemen. That's really cute right there from Luis Fernando. And there's that second goal we were talking about.
For a Memphis club that had only been finishing 12% of their chances, they have really turned up the heat on Tampa Bay.
We'll see now what 901FC can do. I think now you still play smart. You know, you don't park the bus, but now you're breathing a little easier.
Fernando, his first goal of the season, had a career-high 8 last year. And card being issued in Tampa Bay right now, losing their poise.
They're absolutely losing their poise. They feel like they've been hard done with the yellow card. Now they find themselves 2-0 down, and Guillen, of course, strongly disagreed with that call, which is why he's getting the yellow card. He was not the man who fouled. I believe that was Bruno Lapa. It was Freddie Kleeman that came over the back of Bruno Lapa, and Guillen, you saw with the demonstrative protest. Of course, he's the captain, so he's allowed to have a couple of words, but maybe not the words he probably shared with Alexis De Silva.
Choice of vocabulary may play a role in that. Memphis against Tampa Bay here at AutoZone Park. They are 2-2. And the last time these teams met was at Al Lang Stadium. Memphis came away with a 4-2 win. And you look at how dominant Memphis has been early.
Just complete domination. You see those stats right there, and I think it's absolute truth. You know, sometimes in soccer we can see possession be lopsided for another team, but maybe that's not how the game has gone when there's a lot of east-west possession. But 901FC have been very north-south. They've been very strong in their attack, and you see with the 2-0 up, they've been able to capitalize.
I talked to Stephen Glass yesterday. He was very cagey. I said, "You want to play Route 1 football? Are you going to go side to side?" He said, "I think it'll be a mixture." So, and that certainly has been the way this has played out to this point.
A mixture, but I think they've been very aggressive in their attack.
Now this falls to Nian Gimbiri. And now an opportunity, and that's parried aside by Derek. Dangerous as Bodily was going forward for Tampa Bay, and you see the value of Tyler Derrick.
It's a really great save from Tyler Derrick. Blake Bodily, you see going near post. Looked like he was going to go far post, but Tyler Derrick stood his ground and strong two-handed parry, kept the ball in bounds as well. But
to your point, JJ, you said Memphis needs to play smart football. aggressive football, but certainly not reckless. It is May the 4th, so you will see the Chewbacca costumes and Jedi costumes, and there were some stormtroopers out here earlier.
That guy's got to be hot, Pete.
Yeah. The Chewbacca costume, it is not suitable for Memphis. Bodily trying to run this down. Vom Steeg back there for 901. Throw in for Memphis as we tell you Select, the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Here's a Stormtrooper taking a hydration break, perhaps.
It's quality. Stormtrooper. Well, it's a real Stormtrooper.
It's a real.
I was going to say costume, but he's real.
Yeah, no, he's real. And off the Tampa Bay foul here, Memphis will restart in the 28th minute. If you are late to the party, Forrest Lasso sent off in the first quarter hour with a straight red card. Memphis has taken full advantage of the man advantage. Santos and Fernando, the goal scorers for 901 FC. Vom Steeg battling there. And then interception by Jimenez. Turchi.
Pete, we got to give a shout out as well to the 901 FC defense. They've been super organized, not only this match, but last match as well. You can see they're carrying last match's momentum with the shutout into this match. They've been very organized. Been really impressed with that center back combination of Lucas Turchi and Carson Vom Steeg.
Hilton trying to chase this back now bodily. Tampa Bay hasn't scored a ton of goals, but they've only conceded 7, or I should say more precisely, had conceded just 7 coming into today's match as you get a look at Emerson Heineman. Tampa Bay conceded 2 goals to San Antonio in a draw. They conceded 2 at Miami. Those are the only 2 matches in which Tampa Bay has conceded multiple goals. So the foul to Memphis here and a free kick for Tampa Bay. See Stephen Glass trying to get the defense organized, and Fernando has been issued a yellow card. So Alexis De Silva has been busy, but I think all the decisions have been justified. And you see there the most important decision, Forrest Lasso being sent off in the 11th minute. Played long in a misfire on the head attempt, and it will be a goal kick for Tyler Derrick.
The thing about this Tampa Bay Rowdies side, Pete, yes, they're down 2-0. Yes, they're down a man, but you really can't count out this side. There's still a lot of football left in this match. 901 FC, they need to play smart. They can slow it down a little bit, but like I said, you can't just park the bus and just take on a bunch of pressure. You still want to go after that third goal.
They did put 5 in the back of the net against Miami. Interception by Crisostomo, and now Hilton. Tampa Bay trying to be patient and pick out their options here, down a man. Crisostomo playing it forward, intercepted by Turchi as we hit the half-hour mark here at AutoZone Park. Bodily going wide with it. Guillen gives way to Bodily, and now a retreat and a recycle for Freddie Kleeman back to his keeper, Jordan Farr. Vom Steeg will run this down in his second season with 901 FC. It's headed out for a Memphis throw.
There's not a lot of ideas right now for the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Even when they had 11 men before the Forrest Lasso red card, they seemed like they were kind of out of sorts. They didn't have a ton of rhythm, and I'd say it's exacerbated now that they're down a man.
And also an early yellow card for their manager, Robbie Nielsen. We got a Memphis player down. Neil Gabiri into the area, headed away by Borzak.
Yeah, Pete, it looks like that's Akeem Ward that's down. He's clutching at his knee there. It looked like an awkward fall that he had there. I don't know if his leg might have slipped out from underneath him, but 901 FC will certainly hope that he's okay. I mean, he's such a huge part of this 901 FC defense and 901 FC attack, really team in general. He does such an amazing job with his 1v1 defending ability as well as getting forward. She's here on the replay. Like he lunged out and, just an awkward fall there as his leg got kind of looked stuck in the turf there, and knee might have gotten twisted up. See on the replay here, just an awkward fall there.
Ward wearing the captain's armband this afternoon.
Looks like he's up and moving pretty good now, actually.
Borzak flicks that on, and it'll be out for a Tampa Bay throw. Tampa Bay coming off a 3-0 win over New Mexico. Cal Jennings, we talked about how quickly Memphis was able to get on the scoreboard this afternoon. Cal Jennings in the 7th minute and then in the 16th minute. And the guy whose name we have not called yet, Arteaga, as he defends there.
I was kind of shocked, Pete, to see that Cal Jennings didn't start this match, as Marlon once again finds himself in a dangerous position.
Marlon trying to cross over. Hindman. And Ward. And Memphis will try to find some creases and crevices in this Tampa Bay defense that is now down to 10 men. Tried to flick on. It's headed ahead by Ngabiri, but nothing comes to that. I wanted a decision from Alexis Del Silva, who keeps the whistle silent. Duncan. This is lofted toward the goal and bobbled by Farr, but he's able to recover.
Really good idea there from Oscar Jimenez. He saw, looked like Marlon again streaking down the back post, but well done from Jordan Farr, getting off his line and taking that ball out of the air. You see the replay here. Oscar Jimenez trying to whip that ball to the far post, maybe floated on him a little bit too much, and well done from Jordan Farr to get off his line early.
And a foul to Memphis here, and a quick restart, but too quick for Alexis De Silva. You had said that Tampa Bay not showing a lot of ideas. I think Memphis, on the other hand, has shown a lot of ideas offensively.
A lot of ideas, and even when it was 11 aside, when it was both sides were at full strength, 901 FC were certainly the aggressor, and Marlon Santos has been getting all over this pitch.
Santos, who played last year in Israel via transfer from Birmingham Legion. His work rate has been off the charts this afternoon. This is Crisostomo. Now the give back, and now Lewis Hilton. An Englishman plays it back. And now a cautious move forward by Tampa Bay. From Tampa Bay's perspective, if they could pull one back before the teams go to the changing room, could be massive. This is Jordan Doherty. Arteaga. Crisostomo curls it in. That's well played by Vom Steeg. And then run down by Guillen, where he lets it go into touch for a Tampa Bay throw-in. Guillen weaving his way. And now Doherty. Doherty in his 5th season with Tampa Bay overall. Manjoma, bicycle kick attempt, goes wide from Arteaga.
See Arteaga capable of the spectacular there, going for the bicycle kick. He made good contact with it as well, was just not on target.
Good size at 6'1". The Venezuelan going with a bicycle kick, but not able to get it on frame.
Pete, I was saying earlier, I think head coach Robbie Nielsen for the Tampa Bay Rowdies might be kicking himself that he didn't put Cal Jennings into the starting lineup in this match. Maybe there's some fitness concerns there. He's trying to manage the squad in terms of matches this week, but I just feel like what Cal Jennings provides, he provides a lot of energy. It provides dynamic running for this Tampa Bay Rowdies attack, and we're just not seeing it with this side right now.
It will be interesting to see how Nielsen plays the rest of the match. Again, if Tampa Bay can pull one back before halftime, it would certainly alter his thinking.
You're exactly right.
Lewis Hilton off the free kick. "37th minute and a 2-goal lead for Memphis." Headed away, but then kept by Guillen. Sent back in. Vom Steeg wins it in the air. Manjoma lofting it. And Vom Steeg again in the air. Nicely played by Zach Duncan. And now Memphis, perhaps with a counterattack. Borzak, a ball into space for Marlin. Marlin looking to turn. Marlin against Doherty, and Doherty dispossesses him.
It's really strong defending there. 1v1 defending from Doherty.
Doherty, a native of Dublin in his 5th season, as I said, with Tampa Bay. Doherty was with Tampa Bay, then went back to Ireland. Played for Bohemians FC for a period of time and is now back. And a collision involving Guillen. He's wearing the captain's armband for Tampa Bay this afternoon. And the foul given to Memphis. Manjoma. Nicely done by Akeem Ward. Tampa Bay only one shot on target so far this afternoon. And that is out off Chrysostoma. As we tell you, eFootball 2024 is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play. Download it now. Turchi plays it back to Derek. And now an opportunity here. Fernando is on it. Fernando chips. Headed by Manjoma. Borzak tried to settle, but then lost possession of it. It's out for a Memphis throw-in.
It's a good opportunity there for 901 FC. Luis Fernando did well to find himself into space, and we saw with the rear right-footed cross. He's primarily a dominant left-footed player, but he can use both feet as well.
Turchi playing it back to Derek. And that'll be out for a Memphis throw-in. 40th minute. Memphis has thoroughly dominated 58% of the possession. Lapa has options, has Ward on the wing. Akeem Ward crossing over, right-footed shot, partially blocked. Bicycle attempt by Lapa, and that will be out for Tampa Bay to play it.
I think Bruno Lapa saw what Manuel Arteaga did on the other side and said, you know what, I can do that too. Just couldn't quite get his body facing the right angle to get that on target. But you see Akeem Ward finding himself in the 18-yard box, and Bruno Lapa not quite facing the right way.
But when you're up 2-0 against an unbeaten Tampa Bay team, you're feeling yourself a little bit.
Yeah, you can try some things. Why not?
What is most impressive to me, JJ, as I look at the score sheet right now, Memphis 80% passing accuracy. And that had been a struggle for them. Duncan, ball at his feet. Duncan is whipped down, and there's no air in the whistle. Blake Bodley with the takedown, and now a Memphis foul, and Zach Duncan a little bit exasperated with Alexis Da Silva.
See Lewis Hilton there. He usually has the captain's armband. I think Aaron Guillen is wearing it right now as Marlon is offside there, but it's another man, Lewis Hilton. He's been a dominant player in this midfield for the Tampa Bay Rowdies through the years, and he's a player that's not going to give up, Pete.
No, and Hilton coming back after missing most of last year with an ankle injury. There's Stephen Glass in his second season managing 901 FC. Formerly with Atlanta United, was the interim manager of the big club, and then also working with the Atlanta United Academy and Atlanta United 2. Trying to link with Arteaga, and that's played by Crisostomo. And Tampa Bay trying to see if they can get themselves on the board here in the dying moments of the first half. Munjoma works against Ward, and that will be out.
King Ward is such a hard player to beat 1v1. I don't know really if I've ever seen it. I'll knock on wood for 901 FC's sake, but he's just so persistent. He's extremely athletic, so determined in his defending.
Hilton looking to turn, and we'll have our first corner kick for Tampa Bay this afternoon.
This is a big opportunity for Tampa Bay. Rowdy speed is set pieces are really going to be a way that they can get back into this match. I know Forrest Lassiter, the big 6'5 center back, was sent off, but they replaced him with another very large 6'4", 6'5 center back in Freddie Kleeman, and Lewis Hilton will certainly be looking for him inside the 6-yard box.
This potentially could be a rather large moment in this afternoon's proceedings. Memphis trying to preserve a 2-goal advantage. Tampa Bay trying to pull one back and give themselves a little belief going into a second half where presumably Cal Jennings would see the pitch. Low driver by Hilton, flicked away, still loose. Arteaga could not get to it, and then chipped back in. Hyndman misfired on winning it in the air, but that'll be out for a Memphis throw-in. So Memphis survives that little threat by Tampa Bay.
It's a good free kick from Lewis Hilton as well. Just whipped that right across the 6-yard box. There's an outswinger there.
Anticipate a healthy amount of stoppage time at the end of the first half. We did have the red card, and Turchi will concede the throw-in. And there was the red card, and then there was the injury to Jordan Farr. And it took quite a bit of time off the watch, off Alexis De Silva. Tampa Bay has not had a shot since the 26th minute. And a Memphis foul here, and so a free kick opportunity for Tampa Bay. And Arteaga is the player down. Does not want assistance from Akeem Ward.
Ward said, I'm just trying to help you. I'm trying to help you get up. Not really sure what happened there, Pete. It was hard to see from our angle. It looked like Zach Duncan and Manuel Arteaga went up for a pretty run-of-the-mill header, and Arteaga has gone down clutching his face.
Arteaga, previously with Indy 11.
See on the replay here, two players getting in position, and yeah, the hands come up from Zach Duncan and catch him in the face. I'm not sure, how much was really there. You see Zach Duncan raise his arms. But, of course, Tampa Bay Rowdies will feel like they deserve that call.
So Hilton will stand over the free kick. 7 minutes of stoppage time has been added. And again, potentially a rather large moment. Memphis trying to preserve a 2-goal advantage, and Tampa Bay trying to gain a foothold here at AutoZone Park.
Big time header there from Lucas Turchi.
And Fernando trying to keep possession of it, and now a takeaway, and there's Marlon again. He has just been sensational this afternoon.
He's been fantastic just with his work rate and getting into all the right positions, and of course his finishing product with the goal and the assist this afternoon. It's just been really incredible. A really important tackle there as well from Eddie Manjoma, the defender for the Tampa Bay Rowdies.
Saw Stephen Glass checking his watch. Minimum of 7 minutes has been posted. He'll be out for Tampa Bay. Marlon in the 19th minute, and then he assisted on Fernando's goal in the 23rd minute. That is how we have gotten to this 2-0 scoreline. Forrest Lasso sent off in the 11th minute. Straight red card. Right just outside the penalty area. And for a moment, we weren't sure if there would be a penalty awarded or not. Memphis has not won a penalty this year. Memphis trying for consecutive victories for the first time this season. They won their opener here at home against Las Vegas Lights, then dropped 5 straight. And then the 3-0 victory in Birmingham last weekend. Fernando slams on the brakes. Well defended by Hilton. And of those 5 losses, JJ, a lot of those were just bad luck.
Just bad luck, really, and just the inability to finish the ball, which is the exact opposite of what we've seen the last 2 matches for 901 FC. So just exactly like you said, just some bad luck, and a lot of times it just takes these players. A lot of these players haven't played together, right? So it has taken a little bit longer, I'm sure, than head coach Stephen Glass would have wanted, and a few more losses than he would have wanted. But now we're starting to see it come together, and it's coming together very nicely for Memphis 901 FC.
Zach Duncan in the starting 11 this afternoon. He's new to the club. Marlon is new to the club. Jimenez is new to the club. Borzak is not new to the club, but new to the starting lineup. And as much as we talk about Cal Jennings, and he is as dynamic a goal scorer as there is in the championship, Memphis also has Nate Pickering available to come in off the bench.
Really strong player to come off the bench, of course. He's grown in stature as well. He's a big lad now, as the Irish would say, but that left foot of his is so powerful. I think we will definitely be seeing him in the second half of this match, which is the exact opposite of what that Tampa Bay Rowdies back line would want to see.
Marlon well marked by Freddie Kleeman, and earns a throw in for Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay conceding 2 goals this afternoon. They had conceded just 7 coming in. Only Sacramento, Detroit, and Orange County had conceded fewer. Now a ball through here for Borzak. Flag stays down. Dillon crossing, parried by Farr. And then Farr plays it with his feet after it was deflected to him by Manjoma. And another really good opportunity for Memphis. Crisostomo plays it back here for Hilton. Hilton trying to play the long ball for Arteaga, and that's swept aside and out of play.
It was a very important save there from Jordan Farr. Dylan Borzak did really well to get in position and try to chip it up over Farr, but Farr was alert and came off his line quickly and made the big save. As I said before, Pete, this game is still far from over. 2-0 up, but Tampa Bay Rowdies they've really responded well with all things being considered, being down 2-0 and being down a man.
5 minutes of the 7 of stoppage time have gone by the hourglass. Ball loose in an open area. That's chipped, headed, and it is a goal for Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay pulls one back in stoppage time. And that is exactly what Memphis wanted to avoid. A quick strike, the ball into space, and Tampa Bay able to get on the board.
Well, Pete, I just said it probably about a minute ago. The response of being down after being down 2-0 and down a man has been excellent from the Tampa Bay Rowdies. As you can see them, really they've been dominating possession. What a ball that was from Doherty, and gets through onto Blake Bodley's left foot. Bodley's been really good in this first half and just chips the ball into the 6-yard box. Great finish as well from Manuel Arteaga. That's exactly why we featured him in the first half. He's a fox in the box, gets in the good positions, and he finishes the ball when he's in those positions.
Arteaga, his 6th of the season. It's the first stoppage time goal Memphis has conceded this year. And now a quick restart for Tampa Bay.
Pete, it's also why that second goal for 901 FC was so important. Otherwise, this match would be tied, of course. But the response from Tampa Bay Rowdies, they look like a new team. Really, they've been better with 10 men than they ever were with 11 men, although that was early on in this match. But 901 FC certainly need to batten the hatches now and really lock in, especially to close out this half.
So Arteaga, his 6th of the season, had 19 last year with Phoenix Rising. Jimenez. A little bit of a manhandling there by Munjoma. Guillen. And Derek is there to play it for 901 FC. We played our 7 of stoppage time and a little bit more. Ian Gambiri credited with the assist on the goal. And now danger here. 3-on-2 and a missed strike by Bodley. And Memphis very, very fortunate that this thing didn't end up level at 2. Ward and Memphis, is there something left in their tank here at the end of the first half? Borzak. And now Lapa gives it a go from distance and parried by Farr. And there is the halftime whistle. Memphis dominating much of the first half, up a man since the 11th minute. Their margin is just 1. A late goal by Arteaga in stoppage time makes it a 2-1 lead for Memphis 901 FC. We go to halftime at AutoZone Park. The home club, 2-1 over visiting Tampa Bay. Back with halftime in a moment. Halftime in downtown Memphis, and 901 FC taking advantage of the red card issued to Forrest Lasso in the 11th minute. Built a 2-0 lead. However, Manuel Arteaga, his sixth goal of the season, makes it a 2-1 scoreline in favor of Memphis. More halftime from AutoZone Park in a moment.
Go get it, Doug.
When termites show up, so do we. Terminix it.
They're hungry for the women's game. They want to see women's soccer. They want to play women's soccer, and that's what we're building at the USL.
You can see it in my eyes, only walk the past. Running every night, won't settle for less. Got me looking to the sky, got me feeling blessed. Got this fire burning up inside of my chest. Burning up inside of my chest. Got this fire burning up inside of my chest.
Pain doesn't care who you are or why you hurt, but pain can be mastered if you know the way. Fight back with Tiger Balm's legendary herbal power. Trusted for over 100 years, our proven blend of camphor, menthol, and essential oils tames pain with the strength and speed of the tiger, so that you can rise above pain and get back to living. This is the way of the tiger.
Distance, oh, what an effort, and it's special.
Machoma fires!
Looks great.
When termites show up, so do we. Terminix it.
Memphis 901 FC trying for back-to-back victories for the first time this season. They were up 2-1 over Tampa Bay Rowdies. Pete Branica, JJ Greer with you. And JJ, plenty of fireworks, particularly early. Forrest Lasso sent off in the 11th minute. And Memphis, as you point out, they had a lot of ideas, a lot of creativity offensively. Early free kick opportunity here, and that one going wide. But Memphis was able to get forward. They were able to get in space. There is the call that sent Forrest Lasso off, and it resulted in more opportunities for 901 FC, and Marlon has been absolutely brilliant wherever he's been on the pitch this afternoon.
He's just found himself in excellent positions. As you see here, combining with players all over the pitch, him and Borzak have been really incredible up top. Same with Bruno Lapa. You saw the half volley there that he took. Wonderful save there from Jordan Farr.
Then this ball played back. Zach Duncan is taken down. No whistle, but then it falls back to Marlon, and Marlon says, you know what? You're not going to stop this, Jordan Farr. Great pace, fantastic strike, and really did not get any run-up. That was just pure power. And then this ball into space for Marlon. Beautiful cross. Very easy for Fernando to chip and make it a 2-goal lead for Memphis at that point.
Just a lovely chip there from Fernando. Chipped it right over the shoulder of Jordan Farr, but it wasn't over from there. The Tampa Bay Rowdies really came back strong. You see the chip into the box there from Blake Bodley into Manuel Arteaga, who finished that nicely. And so we finished 2-1 at the end of the half.
Memphis had a huge advantage in possession. That diminished somewhat as the half went on. Memphis with 4 shots on frame, 2 corners for Memphis, 1 for Tampa Bay. And you see it's been a somewhat physical game. We have had cards issued, obviously. Lasso sent off in the 11th minute. 2-1. Memphis 901 FC with the advantage over Tampa Bay, trying to deal Tampa Bay their first loss of the season. We've got more highlights and more halftime coming your way after this timeout. Halftime at AutoZone Park. It is Star Wars Day, so we've got our little Skywalkers and our little Princess Leias and even an R2-D2. See who else shows up here today. And we've got Rey as well. We got the entire Star Wars galaxy pretty well represented here today. Let's take a look at some news and notes around the championship. Open Cup will resume. 20 USL Championship clubs in the Open Cup. Round of 32 kicking off May 7th through 8th with 6 clubs involved in that. Charleston Battery, you see exactly why they are atop the Eastern Conference. Kenich with that first half hat trick against Las Vegas Lights, and Oakland Roots already making a change with their manager. Noah Delgado is no longer their manager, and Gavin Glinton will take over as the interim manager for Oakland Roots. Memphis 901 FC, what they have coming up. They've got Monterey Bay coming up. Let's take a look at the rest of the scoreboard. Nothing else is active at the moment. Everything else will be later on. Charleston Battery at home to Hartford Athletic. Pittsburgh at home to Miami. Memphis will see Miami next weekend in South Florida. San Antonio at home to Oakland Roots. Colorado Springs and El Paso. Monterey Bay home to Indy 11. And Las Vegas Lights hosting New Mexico United. Charleston Hartford Athletic match is the next one on tap, but nothing else active on the USL Championship scoreboard at the moment. Standings this early in the season, JJ, you can kind of take them with a grain of salt. You know, Memphis gets 3 points this afternoon. All of a sudden, you find yourself tied with Las Vegas in 7th place. But Sacramento off to a flying start, as you might expect. Monterey Bay has been also off to a real good start, and Memphis owes them after dropping a 2-1 decision at Monterey Bay earlier this season.
Real opportunity. It starts tonight here with 901 FC to really jump up in this table. You know, if they can get the victory this evening, potentially jump up to 7th place and displace, really, yeah, probably displace Las Vegas Lights FC. So, as you mentioned, Pete, you got to take it with a grain of salt this early on in the year. But Sacramento Republic, of course, leading the way from the top. I think they're for real. I think they'll stay certainly near the top. San Antonio FC, perennial contenders. They'll probably creep their way up the table. So we'll see how this thing shakes out.
It's a whole new lineup for Memphis this year playing in the Western Conference. This is the only time they'll see Tampa Bay all year. And actually, Memphis and Tampa Bay had kind of grown into a nice little rivalry when they were both in the East. Obviously, that's no longer the case.
Yeah, certainly we'll have to form new rivalries, and 901 FC will have to get used to probably traveling much further distances. They're probably, looking at this table here and where the teams shape up geographically, the furthest team to the east. So, you know, those California trips can certainly be tough, but 901 FC, they've got really good players, and they're starting to click now. Yeah,
Memphis will play their next 3 on the road starting Wednesday at Miami. Then they go to Monterey Bay and El Paso. They will not be home until May 25th when they take on Pittsburgh Riverhounds. But for the moment, a 2-1 advantage over Tampa Bay. Memphis with that man advantage. They have had it since the 11th minute when Forrest Lasso was sent off. We're moments away from the second half kickoff, and there you see the upcoming schedule. Memphis will get an opportunity to play an MLS side. They did very well against Atlanta United last year in U.S. Open Cup play against an MLS side. They will be at FC Dallas on the 7th as part of the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. And then you see the road matches, Monterey Bay, El Paso, and then Pittsburgh, and then at San Antonio. That is what Memphis 901 FC has on the docket upcoming. But for this afternoon, JJ, you look at it, really good first half from Memphis, but still this is such a dangerous Tampa Bay team that Memphis cannot take their eye off the target the entirety of the second half.
901 FC will need to stay aggressive. They need to keep finding those 2 Brazilians right there, number 9, number 11, Fernando and Marlon Santos. They've been dynamic. And Bruno Lopes as well. There they are, the 10, the 9, and the 11. The Brazilians up top for 901 FC. Keep being aggressive. You got to keep going for goal. If you sit back and just absorb pressure, you know, you could take on more goals, as we saw Tampa Bay Rowdies do at the end of the first half. So 901 FC, they need to do what got them the lead, right? Keep being aggressive. Keep playing north-south soccer. Get the ball up top to Marlon.
Memphis is 2-1-0 with a halftime lead this year. Tampa Bay trying to rally and trying to avoid their first defeat of the season. Tyler Derrick, clean sheet last weekend, but that ball so good in by Bodley that he had no chance against the header of Arteaga.
Really, Blake Bodley and Manuel Arteaga, the two players of the first half for the Tampa Bay Rowdies, especially Bodley. He was one of the best players on the pitch. Him and Marlon for sure were probably the two best players on the pitch in that first half. So 901 FC will need to pay close attention to Bodley and Arteaga here in the second half.
This is only the second time Tampa Bay has trailed at halftime, and obviously they won that match. Here's the interesting thing about Tampa Bay. 10 of their goals this season have come in the second half. They are a dangerous second half team. And again, I think from our perspective, and we're maybe a little biased because Cal Jennings had been part of 901 FC. We've seen what Cal Jennings has done for 901 FC. We've seen what Cal Jennings has done against 901 FC. Started the match on the bench for manager Robbie Nielsen. We'll see how long that remains the case.
Yeah, Pete, I think maybe potentially around the hour mark, depending on how, what the score is in this match. But this is certainly a good game for him. He's kind of a wild card player, Pete, and this game is a weird situation for Tampa Bay Rowdies in terms of being down a man and down a goal. But they've still managed to get opportunities, and Cal Jennings will certainly present more opportunities for them.
This ball a little too long, and Guillen not happy with Luis Fernando. A little hand fighting as they were going for the ball. Both these teams, we talked about the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup, both teams will be in action during the week. Memphis will be at FC Dallas, and Tampa Bay will be at home. They'll play Birmingham Legion. And they'll play them, in fact, consecutively on Wednesday and on Saturday. So matches stacking up a little bit, so fitness is going to be a concern, or certainly something to be watched. Duncan heads this forward. Marlon in a foot race as he was defended by Freddie Kleeman. Kleeman started the match on the bench and then came in after the dismissal of Forrest Lasso.
He's been a really good substitution, filling in for Forrest Lasso, the big center back Freddie Kleeman. Looks like we might have had a foul here. It's hard to tell. The advantage, our referee, Alexis De Silva, was trying to play the advantage, but brought it back.
Borzak goes down, is dispossessed. Crisostomo, and that'll be out for a Tampa Bay throw-in. You look at Hakeem Ward wearing the armband this afternoon. No alterations to the Memphis lineup as we start the second half. One of the interesting numbers from that first half, even though Memphis was dominant in some facets of the game, Tampa Bay had 36 final third entries compared to 29 for Memphis. So this is a Tampa Bay team. They know how to score goals. And if Memphis could somehow keep them to one, that would be quite the feat. Marlon not able to hold possession for Memphis.
Pete, earlier in this match, we talked about 901 FC getting a second, and now I think we're going to be talking about 901 FC getting a third, so they can potentially breathe easier. Because I'm not too convinced, Pete, that Tampa Bay Rowdies do not have a second goal in them.
Memphis did put 3 in the back of the net against Birmingham last Saturday. Fernando keeps it in play. Fernando trying to cut back, dispossessed, but recycled. Jimenez.
It's a great switch there from Jimenez.
And now Ward. Emerson Hyman peels back, and Ward lost control, but then gets it back. Ward gives it a go from distance and handled easily by Jordan Farr, making sure that Jordan Farr was awake.
Really nice strike there from Hakeem Ward. He caught it sweetly, but right down the middle, fortunately for Jordan Farr.
Farr had conceded 7 goals, a couple of clean sheets. He's conceded 2 this afternoon. Hyman, nice little chip there for Lapa. Hyman works against Lewis Hilton. Here's Lapa. Lapa assessing options. Jimenez faces goal. Lapa tees it up, gives it a strike off the woodwork. ball is loose, and it is potted home by Marlin. There's the third goal the home club was looking for, and Marlin delivers.
Big time, once again, Pete, for 901 FC. And the two Brazilians once again combining. Bruno Lapa with the thunder strike from probably 25, 30 yards out. It careened off the crossbar, deflected off the back of Jordan Farr, and once again, Marlon Santos in the right place at the right time.
Jimenez, beautiful layoff here, and Lapa had a perfect go at it. But then the ball loose, and there was not a white shirt anywhere to deal with the ball caroming off the woodwork. And a 3-1 advantage for Memphis.
So again, 2 goals and an assist for Marlon. His second goal of the season, his second goal of today. He's just been on an absolute tear the past 2 matches.
Marlin had not had a goal, and now here's a steal by Heineman. Good tackle performed there, and then Ward will draw the foul, and Tampa Bay will get the restart, but Tampa Bay down now 2 goals. Jimenez, beautiful layoff here. Lapa in space, unmarked. Tampa Bay calling for offside. Flag stayed down. And 3-1 is the Memphis advantage.
Such an important goal for 901 FC. Marlon has been so big all afternoon long, and that third goal will give 901 FC a nice cushion, especially being a man up.
Fernando with the takeaway. Duncan, tight quarters there on the touchline. Tackle by Crisostomo. And we did get a Memphis foul out of that, did we? Actually, it'll be a throw-in for Tampa Bay. But again, even with a 2-goal advantage, if you're Memphis, there's no taking the foot off the gas at this point.
Yeah, keep at it. You're still so early on in the second half. You don't want to continue to absorb pressure as you were at the end of the first half. So 901 FC got a lot of momentum right now. You can see the extra pep in the step of the 901 FC defensive players and offensive players. You can also see the frustration in the body language of the Tampa Bay Rowdies players.
Yeah, this is a Tampa Bay club that is so mature and has had so much success. And I think I have seen more dissent and not the same composure you typically see from a Tampa Bay club.
Well, they're not used to being in this position, right? Down, multiple goals, down a man.
Deep throw, and Derek comes off his line to play it. A reminder that the USL Championship is on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN Plus. Go to USLChampionship.com for the complete USL television listings. Glad you're with us on ESPN Plus and WMC News 5 Plus on this Saturday afternoon. Ball played long. Ward battling for it. He's out-dueled for it. And Turchi, a little distress on the left leg, and he remains on the floor here in the 54th minute.
It's a lovely long ball down the touchline. Probably, a 60-yard ball right into the chest of Akeem Ward, who was making that streaking run. And you see Lucas Turchi down on the ground, kind of holding his left ankle there. It looked like a Tampa Bay Rowdies player came in a little late trying to deflect that ball, but instead caught Lucas Turchi's ankle, and it's on the ground now. It looks to be like he's okay. So you can see our center official, Alexis De Silva, helping up Lucas Turchi. He looks okay, and he's up jogging.
Yeah, and Tyler Derrick was over there, I think, explaining to Alexis De Silva, there may have been a foul there, but good sportsmanship with Yingambiri as he comes right there. And there's the knock that Turchi took. And Yingambiri served with a yellow card. And now Arteaga, dangerous, shot blocked. Guillen. Marked by Fernando. Bodley sends it in. Arteaga not able to get on the end of it. Hyman can't get to it. And Memphis desperately trying to clear, and a shot from distance skims off the roof of the net.
Good defensive effort there from 901 FC. They stayed strong. They stayed goal side. Didn't stick a foot in, to get any cheap fouls inside the 18-yard box, to get any cheap penalty calls. And see Lewis Hilton still kind of directing traffic. Once again, good response from the Tampa Bay Rowdies. They're not just putting their heads down and throwing the white flag up and giving up on this match.
Memphis a 13-5 advantage in shots, 7-2 shots on target, and that is their advantage, and currently 57% of the possession this afternoon. Lapa plays it back for Zach Duncan. Hyman playing it forward. Ward, marked by Crisostomo, sent in, hit it off the crossbar. Oh my! Marlon nearly with a hat trick.
Wow, Marlon rose so well. He leapt like a salmon on that one. Hakeem Ward with the lovely left-footed cross just whipped that onto looked like right on the penalty spot. And I'll tell you what, Marlon just rose and just levitated. He hung in the air. Pete, I think you might have seen that in some of the other sports that you've called, but you see this ball here from Hakeem Ward. Just whipped it in onto the head of Marlon. Just once again careened off the crossbar. Not sure if Jordan Farr got a touch on that one.
Memphis has hit the woodwork twice here in the second half. The first one rebounded back to Santos, who recorded a brace with his second goal in the 49th minute. Fernando chipping, trying to get through. Fernando dispossessed, picked up by Bodley. And now Lewis Hilton. Borzak has Marlon. Flag stays down. Marlon 1v1. He's taken down, and a whole wad of sod comes up. And so air in the whistle, and we will stop play. Marlon had the step. And a little bit of grounds crew work to be done here.
There's a lovely ball, entry ball from Dylan Borzak into the path of Marlon Santos, who once again finds himself in a great position. I tell you what, that was a great defensive effort. I think that might have been Freddie Kleeman, the center back for the Tampa Bay Rowdies, who probably made a goal-saving tackle, last-ditch effort there.
And this is going to require a little bit of work here. That was a rather significant chunk of turf that came up in the baseball infield. But Memphis, well, they have done anything but park the bus here in the second half.
And I think you can see that had to have been the direction, right, from head coach Stephen Glass for 901 FC. He realizes, guys, we can't just sit back. This game is not won by any stretch of the imagination. The Rowdies, even though they're a man down, this is really a title championship contending team that they're facing. They're not just going to lay down and just give up and be looking forward to that flight back to Tampa Bay. No, this team is going to keep coming at you. So 901 FC, what have they done? They've continued to get the ball into their Brazilian dynamite players. That is Bruno Lapa, Marlon Santos, and Luis Fernando. And those guys have just continued to put on tons and tons of pressure on this Tampa Bay Rowdies back line.
Well, in talking with Stephen Glass, and I asked him, I said, you go to Birmingham where you've not had success, and you end up winning the match, and you win it decisively, and you get the clean sheet. He said there was never a loss of confidence with this team despite the 5 straight losses, but certainly to get that victory against a rival meant a lot. And if you can get all 3 points off Tampa Bay this afternoon, then you can say, okay, now we really like where we're headed because we're getting the results as well. Nyingabiri trying to turn against Ward.
Thank you.
In from distance to the feet of Jimenez. And Jimenez gets it away from immediate danger. But still a throw in for Tampa Bay as we near the hour mark. And you wonder about the appearance of Cal Jennings, one of the leading goal scorers in the championship with 6. Long throw in. And that's on the roof, and a corner kick for Tampa Bay.
Once again, we continue to see the positive response from the Tampa Bay Rowdies. This is exactly what they want and what they need in terms of how they're going to get back into this match. Set pieces will be so important to their goal-scoring efforts. Of course, you got a wonderful set-piece taker in Lewis Hilton, and you got several big bodies inside the 18-yard box for the Tampa Bay Rowdies.
Kleeman at 6'4" could be a target. Back post, Derek handles easily. Tyler Derrick, formerly a homegrown player with Houston Dynamo. His 101st USL Championship appearance this afternoon. Celebrated number 100 with a clean sheet last Saturday in Birmingham. Hilton. Intercepted. And the foul given there against Marlin. Foul by Kleeman.
Marlin's hold-up play has also been really, really impressive in this match. Not only is he getting behind the defense, but he's showing for the ball and he's winning free kicks as well.
Trying to settle this at the byline. Trying to go with a back heel, and this will be out for a Memphis throw-in. Santos had a really good year in 2020 with Birmingham Legion. 9 goals that season. That's sent in and handled easily by far. Memphis has had a couple of red cards this year. Tampa Bay getting a straight red to Forrest Lasso in the 11th minute. That wasn't intercepted cleanly, and so it forces Derrick to come out and play it. Vom Stee get the first look at it for 901 FC.
See, the pace has maybe slowed a little bit in this match, but somewhat strategic by 901 FC. Now that you're up again 2 goals, there's no need to really rush things here. No need to rush the pace. Kind of pick and choose your moments to go forward.
Looking toward the Tampa Bay technical area, I'm not seeing anybody loosening up. Borzak. Duncan. Memphis very patient here. Derrick. And that forces Farr to come out. And the foul to Tampa Bay. So just as we saw really at the very, very start of the match, not a lot of flow, and here comes Cal Jennings. Jennings and Nick Moon. And Arteaga going out of the match, along with Nian Gambiri. And Charlie Dennis also into the match. A bit of indecision here. Borzak, it's in. It's in the back of the net. Indecision on the part of Jordan Farr. And Memphis has posted a 4th. Borzak, his first goal of the season.
Much deserved from Dylan Borzak. His work rate has been consistent all season long, really for the past 2 years. You mentioned, Pete, that now he's finally getting a bigger role in this year's side, and he's been rewarded for all of his hard work, and you see what it means to him and to all of his teammates, as well as you mentioned the indecision on behalf of Jordan Farr, the goalkeeper for the Tampa Bay Rowdies, and just Dylan Borzak found himself right in front of a goal, wide open net. Still had a little bit of work to do with the center back Freddie Kleeman on his back, but you just saw the entire 901 FC bench get off of their feet and sprint over to Dylan Borzak to the corner flag as well, and Borzak with the backflip as well, full backflip, and the fans at 901 FC are dancing for joy.
Second goal for Borzak in Beale Street Blue. Had one in 2022, did not have one last year.
I tell you what, if you're those Tampa Bay Rowdies substitutes, we just saw a wholesale substitution from Tampa Bay Rowdies, and you come on the field and immediately get scored and go down 3 goals. It's got to be tough, but 901 FC have played a great match so far. They've worked really hard, and Pete, they've really finished pretty much all of their chances.
So Borzak in the 64th minute. Santos in the 20th. Fernando in the 23rd. Offside flag is up. Santos again in the 49th minute and Borzak in the 64th. And again, Tampa Bay, they've been down a man since the 11th minute. And just complete indecision and then a whiff by Jordan Farr. And Borzak as easy a goal as he will ever have.
But Borzak, he had to do the work, Pete. He had to sprint into that position. A lot of players will just kind of let that go, so they see themselves that they're outmanned. But Borzak just kept running and stuck with it and was rewarded for his hard work.
And this is lifted in, handled by Tyler Derrick. Tampa Bay was the first ever regular season opponent for 901 FC when the club joined the championship. As I recall, a rather controversial penalty was called in that match, and Tampa Bay ended up winning.
You have a great memory, Pete.
I seem to remember there was a penalty, and it was right at the edge of the area, and there was some. Depends which colors you were wearing or supporting that day, whether or not it was in the box or not.
I think I remember what you're talking about now, right around this time in May.
Mm-hmm. We called it all those years ago.
Yep.
And good to be back with you, and good to see Memphis really back to form, because those 5 consecutive losses, that you knew that wasn't going to stand. This may be the most talented team that the organization has ever had. But soccer, as you well know, can be a cruel game.
Oh, it's a fickle game, indeed, as we see wholesale substitutions now for 901 FC.
Pickering and Cariaga, Noe Meza. They will come into the match. And Bruno Lapa will be among those departing for 901 FC. Because again, Memphis will also be involved in the Open Cup in the midweek in a trip down to Dallas. You get a look at Knight Pickering. Had 4 goals last year, plus 1 in Open Cup play. He and Borzak, 2 young and very talented strikers. And Lucas Turchi also coming off. And Santos's afternoon is done, and what an afternoon it was for him.
Incredible performance from Marlon Santos. What was it, Peter? The 2 goals and an assist after coming off of a 2-assist performance against Birmingham Legion. He's in incredible form right now.
Restart for Tampa Bay again. Tampa Bay unbeaten coming in at 3-0-4. They had claimed all the points in 2 of their last 3 matches. 3-0 at home against New Mexico United. And Memphis just trying to take care of the housekeeping here. That's headed in on Derrick. And last shot from Charlie Dennis, the Englishman in his 2nd season with Tampa Bay, making his fourth match appearance. Borzak. Meza. Got a run going. Through to Pickering. Pickering. That shot skirting across the face of goal. So a goal kick for Jordan Farr.
See 901 FC continuing to attack. This time getting to the feet of Knight Pickering. He couldn't quite get that cleanly onto his left foot. His all-powerful, all-dangerous left foot.
Great run. Pickering couldn't quite get everything he wanted on it. Pickering getting called up for national team duty earlier this year. Future is very, very bright for him. Vom Steeg, nice cut in front of Cal Jennings. I'm sure Tampa Bay, their whole thought process right here is get it to Cal Jennings as often as possible. This is Damian Rivera wearing the number 8 shirt. Manjoma, and now Charlie Dennis. But the goal for 901 FC defensively, if they're going to get a ball to the feet of Jennings, make sure that it's not clean, that he's under duress.
You're absolutely right. Just not let him get in behind you as well. Keep him in front of you. Don't let him make those streaking runs off your shoulder. You got to always keep tabs on him.
Pickering trying to get this into space. Well defended there by Manjoma. And then a push down. Jordan Doherty getting a bit chippy here. And so Memphis will get a free kick. Been a frustrating afternoon for Lewis Hilton and Tampa Bay.
Yeah, now you can really see it in the body language of the Tampa Bay Rowdies. I think at 4-1, up 3 goals and down a man at this point. In the 71st minute, I think those Tampa Bay Rowdies, of course, you stay professional, you try your hardest, but I think they're probably certainly looking at just stopping the bleeding at this point and getting out of this match.
Cariaga, the Argentinian, and Meza in position. Meza going direct to Jordan Farr.
It's a decent effort there from Meza. Not a long run up, but got a lot of power on that ball. Got it up and over the wall as well, but fortunately for Jordan Farr and the Tampa Bay Rowdies, it was right down the center of the goal. As you can see here, really just whipped it in, but just right down the center of the goal. But decent effort there from Noe Meza.
Sun has broken through here on this afternoon. It has been periodically overcast. As we tell you, if you can't watch the match, turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access Tuesdays at 7 o'clock Eastern. Plus, hear live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the new Sirius XM app. Robbie Nielsen, first season, and about a quarter hour plus from absorbing his first defeat as the Tampa Bay manager. But there will be far more success than failure for him. This Tampa Bay club is loaded and certainly has to be included in the conversation when you talk about championship contenders. Oh, a one-touch by Pickering. That goes over the bar.
It's a decent effort there from Knight Pickering making the streaking run there. It looked like the top of the 18 once again. Another good ball from Akeem Ward. See on the replay here, Akeem Ward putting it on his stronger right foot. Just whips it right on top of the penalty spot, and really a decent opportunity there right on Knight Pickering's left foot. Just couldn't keep it under the bar.
Pickering, just 19 years of age, from Birmingham, Alabama. The future incredibly bright for him. And this will be the only meeting between these clubs this season, as Memphis has moved to the Western Conference. And Memphis, assuming that this result holds, Memphis will actually have a winning record against Tampa Bay on this pitch.
It's been really impressive, especially over the last, it seems like, 2 or 3 years. Pete, 901 FC have started to, as the squad is really improved in terms of the quality of player and they've found their identity, have had really good results against such a tough, historically good Tampa Bay Rowdy side.
And a big collision in the air, and we're going to get a card here as Hilton was trying to restart. We had a Memphis player down. And I think that's what 901 FC is arguing right now. We had a player down, and Lewis Hilton wanted to restart. Cariaga, yellow card for him as Churchy went down. Stephen Glass on the Memphis touchline. There's the collision. So the foul's given. Turchi remains down. Hilton tries a quick restart, and Memphis took exception. Cariaga gets a booking for his trouble. For Memphis this afternoon, a dream start. Forrest Lasso sent off in the 11th minute. 2 goals in quick succession. Santos in the 20th minute. Fernando in the 23rd. Tampa Bay pulls one back. Arteaga in stoppage time in the first half. And a Memphis foul given there as Dennis goes to the ground.
Pete, Charlie Dennis is another really strong player for for Tampa Bay Rowdies. I believe last time the Rowdies were in Memphis here at AutoZone Park, he had a really nice goal. A typical starter, I believe, for the Tampa Bay Rowdies. But once again, you've got a little bit of squad management, if you will, given what time of year it is in the season with lots of games coming fast-paced, Open Cup, of course, a lot of league games as well. So you got to really manage your squad to the best of what you have. And I think for Tampa Bay Rowdies tonight, maybe not the best squad out there for them.
Ball whipped in and gets through cleanly. So a goal kick for Tyler Derrick. But these are the matches, if you're 901 FC, or if you're really anybody, if you can't get yourself mentally focused and ready to play Tampa Bay, then you probably are in the wrong business.
Oh, absolutely. And 901 FC, they're just flying right now. They found the formula in terms of especially attacking, but defensively as well. You know, Lucas Turchi and Carson Vom Steeg have been so impressive. Akeem Ward perennially has been good in the back line for 901 FC. Oscar Jimenez has also put in some really good performances lately for 901 FC. So everything is really starting to click. The midfield as well. Zach Duncan and Emerson Hyman in the midfield for 901. Everything is just really starting to click for this Memphis 901 FC side.
Ward clears that. The other thing that has been impressive, and we touched on it, I think, in the first half, Memphis' passing accuracy at 79% this afternoon. That's really far better than what we've seen from the club earlier this year. Again, it is I don't want to say largely remade roster, but a significantly remade roster. And they're starting to get some of that chemistry together and also the conversion rate, which had been lacking. I mean, Memphis has taken care of business. They've had 3 big chances. They've got 4 goals. So that tells you all you need to know.
Absolutely. And to your point, Pete, you had to replace some really key players. Let's face it, for 901 FC, Aaron Malloy, in my opinion, is still one of the best center midfielders in the entire USL Championship. You had to replace him, but you went out and you got Zach Duncan, who has been slotted into this team very nicely. But it took him a couple matches, right, to understand the squad and find out guys' tendencies, when to play them the ball, how they like the ball. All these things take time, and now we're starting to finally see this side click.
And there's Duncan on cue. And now Jimenez. Jimenez brings high-level experience. Great run with Louisville City. Meza cutting it back. Laid off. Cariaga got it to his left foot. Pickering lost his footing right at the penalty spot. Fans wanted a whistle, but I don't think one was justified. I think Pickering just lost his footing. Cariaga, mid-season acquisition last year, showed very, very well after joining 901 FC. This is Nick Moon. Moon against Jimenez. Moon. Shot rolls in. Handled easily by Derek. Moon did not get much on it. Moon making just his second appearance for Tampa Bay this season. Moon had been with San Diego Loyal before that club folded. Significant result for Memphis this afternoon. And if you want to put an asterisk by it, given that Tampa Bay was down a man for all but 11 minutes of the match, feel free to go ahead and put that asterisk there. But I think Memphis, a well-deserved result for them. Meza lost it to Charlie Dennis. Pickering trying to chase down Hilton, and Pickering will be shown a yellow card.
Even on that red card, Pete, not only he had to force the issue there, right? It was due to the through ball of Zach Duncan playing Marlon Santos in behind Forrest Lasso. He had really no choice but to tug on the jersey of Marlon, and he just so happened to be the last man back as well, so that's why he earned himself the red card. So 901 FC really, from the whistle, from the first whistle in the first half, really brought it to this Tampa Bay Rowdies side, and Tampa Bay Rowdies just didn't really seem to come out with that fire that we're accustomed to seeing from them.
There are days, even when you are unbeaten, things are going to go right. They did not go right for Tampa Bay this afternoon. Leston Paul into the match, and Dylan Borzak, who picked up his first goal of the season in the 64th minute, will depart. And the crowd very appreciative of Dylan Borzak, who made his 5th start this afternoon and got the 4th, and to this point, final goal for 901 FC. So Borzak, a well-deserved rest.
Strong performance from Dylan Borzak, quickly becoming a fan favorite here in Memphis. Just his work rate has been so consistent for the past 2 years, but especially this season. And make no mistake about it, that goal that he scored was due to pure work rate and also incredible timing as well. And he was a big part of what could be a victory tonight, an expected victory for 901 FC.
Ball chipped in, headed toward Derek, and he handles it cleanly. I think what has impressed me as much as anything from Memphis this afternoon, JJ, is their focus. And there hasn't been those moments of slippage. I guess the only thing is they did not get to a loose ball in stoppage time, and that is what allowed Blake Bodley to get the ball that ended up on Ortega's head and then in the back of the net. But really, other than that, just have not seen Memphis have many errors or breakdowns that would cause them to suffer against this Tampa Bay club.
Yeah, we saw it against Birmingham, and I know we keep going back to that match, but really we've seen glimpses of it, I should say, all season. So we have an amazing run there from Zach Duncan.
Yeah, Duncan is taken down.
But it's just everything from front to back, from the strike force to the midfield to the defense, is just really starting to click for this 901 FC side.
Long run here. Rivera, ball at his feet. Rivera lays it off. This is chipped far post. Vom Steeg was there. But it will be a goal kick for Tyler Derrick. Toulouse will come on for Zach Duncan. Toulouse making his 6th appearance. Previously with Hartford Athletic. And San Antonio is Zach Duncan. Heads to the sideline.
Really nice performance tonight from Zach Duncan. The number 6 in midfield. Just got all over the pitch, just was the metronome for 901 FC. Always available, always there to find the ball and keep the ball moving, but also was strong in defense as well. That's the thing about the number 6 position. You got to be able to keep possession, but also defend as well and cover a lot of ground. And he surely did that this afternoon.
And that is out to Tampa Bay. Thing with Duncan is he's trying to find his footing, obviously in a new country, but also the fact that he had been suffering through a number of injuries throughout previous stops in his professional career. And for the first time in a while, now the ball at Pickering's feet, cuts over, picked up, Meza lays it off. No one to get on the end of it, but then it filters all the way through to Cariaga. But just the fact that he is completely healthy right now, and JJ, you as a former footballer yourself, you understand that there is a certain level of confidence that comes when you are fully healthy.
No, absolutely. The confidence in your body is everything, especially at his position where he has to cover so much ground. He's got to be able to trust his lungs, got to be able to trust his legs to be able to cover the ground and make those important challenges as well when you're flying into tackles. You don't want to have any reservations about flying in and getting injured. You just got to go in, naturally. You can't think twice about it, or else you potentially can get injured. So I think we're seeing the results of a healthy player, and now it's translating onto the pitch and into the scoreboard.
Free kick for Lewis Hilton here. A tip of the cap to Memphis's aggression this afternoon, JJ. 20 shots, 9 of them on frame.
Absolutely, and I think that was the message, right? Especially coming out of that Birmingham game. Guys, if we get numbers for it, if we get shots on goal, we can score.
Hilton lofts it in too far, trying to link with Charlie Dennis.
And now they've done it, 2 weeks in a row against 2 of the best teams, right, at least in the Eastern Conference. Beating them by potentially 3 goals. We'll see how this one finishes out. But now 901 FC, they can see that they can do it against the best teams in the league, which also gives you confidence.
In any time, given the nature of the rivalry between Memphis and Birmingham, anytime you can beat Birmingham Legion, and Legion won all 3 meetings, if memory serves, last year with Memphis, including one in the U.S. Open Cup where Birmingham just totally dominated at Protective Stadium. I think that means something as well. You win a rivalry game, you win a match against a team, nicely done there, to win possession for Memphis, and now Pickering into space. To win a rivalry game and then win a game against a perennial power, saved by far off the boot of Pickering. Those are 2 things that will really build your confidence.
Oh yeah, these aren't 2 regular wins. Make no bones about it. Yes, 3 points is 3 points no matter who you're playing, but the quality of the sides, as you mentioned, Pete, especially 2 sides that, especially in Birmingham, that you've really struggled with historically, these are really big confidence boosters, can really help juice up morale that much more, and maybe we'll see this continue to kick on for 901 FC, maybe even an Open Cup as well.
Of course, there are a lot of Birmingham Legion players that have ended up in Memphis, including Bruno Lapa and Marlon.
It goes to say, maybe if you can't beat them, go get them.
Memphis will compile consecutive victories for the first time this season. Heinemann spinning around. Leston Paul lays it back, and Memphis comfortably in front. They have led throughout after the initial goal by Marlon Santos in the 20th minute. And all the better that the match kicked at 3 o'clock this afternoon. All the more time to enjoy a bit of celebration before going to Dallas for the U.S. Open Cup against FC Dallas middle of the week. And while we have been lauding the offense of Memphis, and deservedly so, and you've touched on this, JJ, I think you also need to tip your cap to the back line as well. This is a very good Tampa Bay offense. And really, with the exception of the Arteaga header, there really hasn't been much of a threat posed by Tampa Bay offensively this afternoon.
And really, it's been a great performance individually and collectively from each member of that back line. So once again, we see Lucas Sturgey. He's really been all over the field. Pete, It looks like maybe he's kind of, I don't know what position he's playing right now. He might be playing more of a holding midfield role. Looks like Tulu is slotted in at right back, and maybe Carson Vom Steeg at left center back. But, you know, right across the line, starts with that man right there, Tyler Derrick, with his communication. He's made a couple of important saves as well. Hasn't been too busy, but he's made the saves that he's needed to make. Jimenez, Akeem Ward, Carson Vom Steeg, Lucas Turchi, all of them collectively and individually, really strong performance this afternoon.
Yeah, I'm talking with Stephen Glass yesterday. He really felt that Derrick's poise and composure has really helped this back line, because it is a talented back line, but again, it's not exactly the same unit that you had last year. 5 minutes minimum stoppage time posted here by our fourth official. And that Tyler Derrick has been a real steadying, calming, poised influence on this Memphis back line. And so you're talking about conceding, unless something happens here in stoppage time, you're talking about conceding just one goal to Birmingham Legion and Tampa Bay on successive weekends.
It's so important to have a goalkeeper that you can trust, and a veteran goalkeeper at that. It just unlocks the game that much more, right? You don't have to be so concerned with, you know, oh my goodness, if they get a shot on goal, it's probably going to go in. No, not at all. If anything, you can be more aggressive in your attack because you have such a strong goalkeeper.
That's crossed. Run down by Rivera. Rivera trying to cut it back. Crossing, and then kicked out by Derrick. So a corner kick coming up for Tampa Bay.
An orthodox stop there from Tyler Derrick, as we saw kind of the kick stay there, but held his line strong, and it was effective in the end.
Hilton again to take the corner kick for Tampa Bay. And a whistle from Alexis De Silva. A little management of real estate. I think De Silva's had real good control of this match.
I agree. I think the Tampa Bay Rowdies might disagree with you, but
they certainly did not agree with Forrest Lasso being sent off. But we have not had an outbreak of hostilities. Back post punched out strongly by Derrick. Run down by Majoma. Sent in, headed, and then headed away by Meza. Recovered by Hilton. That's flicked on with the head. Ward will concede the throw in to Tampa Bay. Halfway through stoppage time here at AutoZone Park.
You can see Tyler Derrick kind of come off his line there. He wanted to collect that ball. He saw him have a little bit of frustration, but Akeem Ward couldn't take that chance of letting that ball land inside the 18-yard box.
And that's crossed to no one in particular, so Memphis will get the throw in here. Solid afternoon for the home side. And Tampa Bay will suffer its first loss of the season. Always in the mix in the Eastern Conference. Death taxes, Louisville City and Tampa Bay. It's kind of the way it goes.
It's really incredible. Every season really doesn't matter. I mean, Louisville City especially usually does finish in the top four, but whether they're top four or not in the top four, they always find themselves, at the very least, it seems like, in the Eastern Conference Championship. Same thing goes for this Tampa Bay Rowdies side.
Tampa Bay came in third in the championship, and goals scored was 16. Derrick comes off his line.
Pete, I think this is one that 901 FC will look back on, towards the end of the season and say, that was a very important win right there. No, Tampa Bay Rowdies aren't in your conference anymore, so it doesn't have that kind of double effect of, you moving up the table and then moving down, but still at the same time, a really impressive victory for 901 FC.
And another one of those situations, you could call it proof of performance. You had a fantastic win in Birmingham. You confirm it with another really solid effort here this afternoon. As we are just about out of it, and now everybody looks toward the watch of Alexis De Silva to let us know when the 3 points can be deposited in Memphis's account. We discussed how Memphis may have the most talented roster they've ever had. Well, the addition of Marlon Santos certainly justified in that regard. And there is the final whistle. Memphis 901 FC takes all 3 points off of Tampa Bay. Lucas Turchi and Stephen Glass can celebrate along with the rest of the boys in blue. Solid, comprehensive effort from 901 FC as they defeat Tampa Bay Rowdies 4-1. Memphis now 3-5-0 on the season. Tampa Bay enduring their first setback of the season. They are now 3-1-4 on the season. Both teams to U.S. Open Cup play during the week. But, JJ, I don't think there's any doubt a momentum-building win and confirmation that this Memphis 901 FC team is far better than the 5-match losing streak they endured.
901 FC, these past 2 matches just absolutely have been flying, especially that man right there, Marlon Santos, has just been so impressive for this 901 FC attack, and the work rate capitalized right there from that Dylan Borzak goal. Really special win for 901 FC.
We'll wrap it up in a moment. Impressive win for Memphis 901 FC, 4-1 over Tampa Bay Rowdies. Yes, the Rowdies were down a man starting in the 11th minute, but Memphis, I don't think 11 v 11, they were going to be denied this afternoon. They get a brace from Marlon Santos as he opens his account here in Memphis. And Marlon's got to be the man of the match, right?
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely.
He was front and center for everything. His work rate was great. Loose ball is going to come back to him. And then this finish, just sensational. A lot of power, basically from a standing position.
Absolutely. I think that's going to be an easy, at least a contender for goal of the week. And then also he had the assist as well to Fernando. Really also a cheeky goal. And also led to this Bruno Lapa strike. But Marlon once again was lurking for the easy finish there.
You know, Marlon with the brace as Memphis wins it 4-1. And the Bluff City Mafia very happy and saluting their hometown heroes. Final numbers, 901 FC 57% possession, a whopping 21-10 advantage in shots, 2-1 in shots on goal. And Memphis, you see the passes, but their passing accuracy, that to me was as impressive as anything. 81% accurate with their passes this afternoon. JJ, you win at Birmingham, that's really good. You win at home on a second consecutive weekend against Tampa Bay, that's really good.
6-goal margin between the two games against two of the best teams in the league. Pete, that's really good. That's great even. So we'll see if 901 FC can take that into this next week with the Open Cup against FC Dallas.
Now some young fans enjoying a 4-1 victory for 901 FC over Tampa Bay. For JJ Greer and the rest of our crew here at AutoZone Park, I'm Pete Pranica. Thank you so much for watching USL Championship Soccer. Memphis 901 FC, 4-1 over Tampa Bay. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time here in Memphis.
This copyrighted telecast.
And then there were two remaining unbeatens in the USL Championship, and one resides here at Patriots Point. We welcome you to Week 9 action in the championship. It's presented by MUSC Health. The Charleston Battery welcome Hartford Athletic. Good evening, everyone, with Ricky Lopez, Espen, Mike Watts. And Ricky, is a forward you know better than anybody. What Nick Markanek is doing right now, otherworldly.
And it's the ability to score different types of goals, whether it's getting on the end of it, whether it's creating for himself. But you look at this list, Mike, and you see Dom Dwyer, you look at Haji Berry, Junior Fleming, then Kelly. But you look at Dom Dwyer, he just came back into the league for the Oakland Roots. He's going to have something to say.
All right, so Nick Markanek, 11 goals. But how about 4 in one game? An assist as well. We spoke to Ben Pierman, the head coach for Charleston this week. He said, don't take an inch off what he's doing.
Yeah, he's just so selfless the way that he goes about his business, but he gets himself into really interesting parts of the field, higher up the field, the ability to be clever in his movement. And like I said earlier, he can score every type of goal in the book. Right foot, left foot, header from the spot. Makes no mistake about it, Nick Markanek has been massive for the Charleston Battery this season.
Markanek now is the leading scorer domestically in the United States. Names like Benteke, Messi. Markanek stands chief among them all. But he's not doing it all on his own right now. MD Myers, his strike partner up front, is anticipated to be the guy. This is the first time in the history of the championship that two teammates have scored in 4 consecutive games at the same time. And Myers, Markanek will be key here tonight. Meanwhile, when you look at this Hartford Athletic team, they're going to try and slow this group down, but boy, did they struggle with Louisville City.
And we had the chance to speak with Brendan Burke, and he said, look, it was nowhere near what I expect from this side. The lack of work rate, the lack of game plan, the lack of execution. So yes, he's going to change a little bit, but what does the reaction look like for Hartford Athletic? Because make no mistake about it, Mike, there is talent on this roster.
And tonight they'll make 6 changes, bring in a number of vets, including a couple of club debuts. We'll show you the Hartford lineup and get you ready for Charleston Battery and Hartford Athletic. Just Sacramento and Charleston without a loss to their name in 2024. The Battery put that unbeaten record to the test against Hartford when we return.
Charleston is located in the low country of South Carolina.
The history here, it runs deep, and you can't imagine being anyplace else.
This place is magical.
Players make their way onto the field. Can Hartford bounce back from a disheartening defeat? They're ready to take on the Battery in Charleston. A big matchup that could be quite high-flying in Week 9 of the championship. with Ricky, Mike. Here's a look at the Battery starting 11. If you're Ben Pierman coming off 6-0 against Vegas, let it fly.
And do not change a thing. Ikaze, he's going to play as a withdrawn number 10. Torres on the left, Marcanic on the right. And then you have Myers. He's going to stay high. He's going to occupy the 2 center back. But everything goes through that middle pivot. Allen and Malloy look for them to dictate tempo, move the ball from left to right. Segbers on the right, Dos Santos on the left. Look for their work rate to join the attack. Really attack-minded starting 11 for Ben Pierman at home.
Conversely, for Hartford Athletic, a lot of changes. And a welcome to Jordan Scarlett at center back, his debut, and Ribeiro, the former Sporting Lisbon charge.
And they need to be very good. They need to stay compact and keep everything in front of them. But my eyes go to Chapman and Marlon Harrison, look for them to dictate tempo, move the ball from back to front. You have Marcus Sepp, look for him to make those runs out of midfield. And then you have Galena and Williams, players that can beat you 1v1, players that can beat you through combination play. If you're Brendan Burke, the first 10 to 15 minutes, how quick can you get in a rhythm and really play this game at your speed?
The starting lineups presented by Michelob Ultra. Hard not to be excited about what Charleston has accomplished thus far this season. It's now 9 games unbeaten. And Ricky, you and I chatted with Ben Pierman in the lead up to this game. First off, Ribeiro may have a long one in store. It'll be an intriguing debut for him. But there's an acknowledgement. You want to be at your best in August, September, October. They did that last year, ultimately made the final. He looks at this Hartford team and thinks they've got that same kind of one-year turnaround quality to them. He's not taking this matchup lightly by any stretch.
And why would you? Because you look at this Hartford Athletic side, the talent that Brendan Burke really assimilated here in his roster. They can be game changers. And yes, they had not the best performance against Lou City, losing 6-0. So you know they're going to be motivated, and that's going to be the challenge for Brendan Burke. How do you go like to like with Charleston Batter, who are one of, if not the best team in the Eastern Conference? And it's interesting, Mike, because we talked with Ben Pierman as well, and we talked about how good they were against Las Vegas. And the first thing that he did was we went back, we watched film, and it was about a minute in, how they broke down defensively, and Las Vegas Lights almost scored. So that tells you the standard from both of these head coaches.
There's Brendan Burke taking over this Hartford Athletic team that won all of 4 games in the championship last year. They've already got 3 wins through 6 games this year. And it's a group that's going to have a lot of vets. You can see Ribeiro making a pretty impassioned plea ahead of his debut. There was also an acknowledgement that Paul Walters got the short end of the stick in that game against Louisville. It's not a knock on Walters that he doesn't start this game, the 20-year-old loanee from FC Cincinnati. But it is Ribeiro's time. He dealt with an injury when he arrived, and the 34-year-old Brazilian steps in behind what's going to be a new-looking back line, including that man, Jordan Scarlett, set to make his debut after a tremendous run in Tampa Bay from 2020 to 2022. Mario Williams came off the bench last game. He'll get the first touch to start the action here tonight. And the countdown is on. Matthew Thompson checks his watch. Romario Williams over the ball. And buckle up, this could be quite the game. Here in Charleston tonight, it's the Battery welcoming Hartford Athletic. There is a very realistic possibility that this Charleston team could be too much for Hartford. But Hartford has come in with a handful of vets, either debuting or just finding their form this year, and a 5-back that's going to give them a little more defensive aptitude to try and repel Charleston. It's going to be a very intriguing start to this game.
And it was interesting talking to Brendan Burke. He said, look, we could press high, but we're actually going to drop our line a little bit deeper and stay a little bit more compact. He really challenged his side, saying, look, this is the best team in the Eastern Conference, or has been last season. How do you go like for them? Big opportunity for Hartford Athletic to right their wrongs after last time out.
An early corner here for Hartford. Tristan Hodge over the ball. Hartford has played 3 fewer games than the Battery. Hodge Chapman That's the game within the game tonight, isn't it? Aaron Malloy against Jay Chapman. Chapman won the treble, was a real contributor to Toronto FC when they won the Canadian Championship, the Shield, and the MLS Cup all in the same year. And Aaron Malloy, who's at this point perhaps inarguably the best midfielder in the league. Lob long, well beyond Romario Williams. Comes to Grinwis. Hartford was trying to press. Charleston, that quick switch to the other side.
Just so comfortable on the ball. This Charleston Battery side, every single player in the starting 11 has the ability to break lines with their passing range and decision making. So you just see how comfortable they are in possession.
Malloy. Archer playing wide. Segbers goes to work. Charleston doesn't have the deepest team numerically. They've got their first Open Cup match coming midweek against 3rd Division South Georgia Tormenta. Segbers has been along the ride with Ben Pierman for quite some time, was joking about not looking too far ahead. There really isn't that much rotation you can contemplate with only 14, 15 healthy field players. Ball given away cheaply by Torres, though he's let off the hook by Scarlett. They're going to drop their lines, but there's Scarlett 40 yards beyond midfield in a slide tackle, right? Good touch inside from Galena. He's looking for Williams. The combination broke down from Epps.
Do you think you're going to see clear triggers from this Hartford Athletic side, especially trying to pin Charleston Battery towards the sideline? And then you have Scarlett or Hodge advancing next to Samadia and Beckford, trying to create numerical overloads and force turnovers higher up the field is going to be very important for Brendan Burke.
Burke last year won the Open Cup with Houston Dynamo as an assistant to Benny Olsen. However, his time in the tournament this year far more truncated, perhaps over-rotated. Didn't take care of their chances in the first half, let NYCFC 2 hang around. And ultimately, the next pro side probably hung the most frustrating or embarrassing upset for the championship on Hartford. Ikaza. Allen. I'm not sure Hartford's attempted a pass yet. Galena. That didn't fly. Kaza brought it in. Segbers. Dos Santos. Whipped inside by Torres. Ball drops kindly through now by Myers. And that's a toss from Ikaza. Free kick for Hartford.
Just see how patient this Battery side is in possession, moving the ball from left to right. And then you have Torres. He's staying high and wide, putting a lot of pressure on Scarlett and Beckford. Nice little relationship between Ikaza and MD Myers. Ikaza is very mobile as at number 10, so look for him to make those runs out of midfield and really challenge Hartford Athletics back line.
And Barrow sends that out. World-class experience comes from Sporting in Lisbon, time in Saudi Arabia these past couple of years as well at Al Ali. Better clubs in that confederation.
Right there, we're good.
Scarlett a tad overzealous. We're a month and a half into the season now. This Charleston team, how have you seen them progress year over year? I've heard some coaches describe it different personnel, perhaps more talented personnel, but it looks very similar.
And I would agree with that. But I do think as you start to see Ben Bierman really implement his style, how comfortable players are understanding the different roles that are required from him, because he demands a lot. He puts a lot of responsibility on his players. Look at a player like Chris Allen coming next to Aaron Malloy, what he means to this side. Players, because of that he's brought over, just the work rate, understanding where to be, how to be, the type of runs that Ben Bierman likes his attacking players to play with.
Ikaza. Run from Myers centrally. Ikaza's picked it up again. Went for goal. That deflects. Torres chasing. And from the end line, whipped upfield. Malloy tried to step in. Scored another excellent goal last time out. And this caught Malloy on the way over the line.
Already 8 minutes in, you just see Ikaza causing a little bit of issues for Hartford Athletic. How do you deal with his spacing? He just plays off the shoulder of Chapman and right in front of that back line. So if you are Brendan Burke, communication needs to be key. As your back three needs to either step up or your double pivot needs to drop in.
Ball whipped in over the top. It just got beyond Romario Williams. If he's able to cradle that, it's a real danger moment. Swiped upfield to Allen. Dos Santos. Second ball comes down to Torres. I thought it was possible we'd see Jackson Conway in the bench tonight. It ultimately proves not the case. Charleston side starting to find their health. Hartford side that's starting to find their health. The second start for Hairston. Scarlett's debut tonight. Barrow's debut tonight. Chapman coming off a minor injury. Archer. Graham Smith, an all-league selection. It's balls like that where, like, Aaron Malloy made that marginally more difficult than it needed to be. It's just
because he can.
Right. Because no problem. Inside from Torres. Allen was trying to play through with it. Epps launches down the line. That's too far. The injury report for Charleston is brought to you by MUSC Health. Notably, Juan Palma is unavailable. Still with a hamstring injury throughout the year. And in addition, Jackson Conway, they're hoping to see sooner than later. Soro Rodriguez remains out. Full speed ahead here. Markanik taps outside. Segbers crossing, seeking Myers. It's out for a corner.
And that's going to be the challenge for Hartford Athletic. Yes, if you elect to press high, You need to stay compact in your structure because too many times it's that front line that goes and that midfield and back line that stays. So that's when the gap starts to open up. You start to see how good and how quickly this Battery side can change a point of attack as they win a very dangerous set piece here in the 12th minute.
First time Mabero's had to get the troops in line on a set piece. Malloy, ball hangs in the air, attempt to strike down the first time. Oh, wow, it's Marcanic. What a stunner that is. 12 goals on the year, none better than that. Are you kidding me? When it rains, it pours. This guy is on another planet.
Just something out of nothing, so instinctual. The body control, the technical ability, and the audacity from 12 yards out. The utter brilliance from Marcanic. Off to the corner to celebrate. 12 on the year, but more importantly, Charleston Battery in the lead here.
Goal brought to you by Diamonds Direct. 12 goals in 10 games. Nick Marcanic is playing at a level hardly ever seen in the championship. 1-0 Charleston. If you're Hartford, you absorbed a lot of pressure. Here's Galena. But to concede that, goodness gracious, what a goal. Ball through for Epps, outruns everybody. So, you know, the graphics been flying around. Charleston put out, you know, the highest scoring domestic player in U.S. soccer is Nick Marcanic. Right above Lionel Messi, Christian Benteke, and then he drops one of those.
It's incredible. Just the way that he goes about being at the right place at the right time, and some people will say that's lucky, but it's a skill. Do you understand where the danger is going to be? Do you anticipate that second ball? And then have the body control to get it on target with enough pace, enough power to beat the goalkeeper. Just fantastic stuff from Marcanic.
That's the 4th time now in 10 games that he has scored the opening goal for Charleston. And in the last 5, he has now contributed to 12 goals. 9 goals, 3 assists. And Allen just got a really kind assist.
It's going to be interesting now for Hartford Athletic, what does the reaction look like? Because yes, you want to go into a mid to low block and be a little bit more compact and stop the bleeding. But that's the 7th goal that you've conceded in your last 2 games. Haven't really offered anything going forward, not having the ability to find that first pass after you force a turnover. Uphill battle now for the visitors.
That's now 15 goals in the first half of games for Charleston, most in the league. Beckford. Forward from Malloy. Hardly an empty seat today at Patriots Point. This has been the place to be, no doubt. Brought down by Dos Santos. Battery matches the perfect place to make lifelong memories with your friends and family. Your group of 10 or more, you'd enjoy discounted tickets, exclusive on-field experiences, private hospitality areas to catch the match. Visit charlestonbattery.com to learn more and plan a memorable night at Patriots Point. Here they go again. Markanek. Myers was joining, picked up, and eventually lost by Van Kayziel. Matthew Thompson will bring it back.
Bit of an awkward coming together. As Hodge steps in, there's no ill will. Markanek there. Results after a sloppy giveaway once again from Hartford Athletic, not having the ability to connect that first pass. It needs to be a little bit frustrating for Brendan Burke and company here. For Ben Pierman, it's the pressure. How quickly can you recover the ball once you lose it? 18 minutes in, been all one-way traffic for the home side.
Matthew Thompson finds something funny here. There we go. I was calling a game last night in which there was a contested drop ball where the referee dropped the ball and then walked over the ball into the contested drop. It was one of the most awkward incidents I've ever seen. Nice ball inside from Myers. Slide from Ikaza could take it no further. Walked upfield by Samadia. First start for him, 5th appearance.
Great ball.
Epps. Third to last row.
He's gonna want that one back, Marcus Epps. But it's the kind of interplay that you want from Hartford Athletic. The quick ball movement off the shoulder, Marcus Epps, Jay Chapman. Be a little bit better in terms of your decision making in that final third.
That might come with a card. Yeah, it will. That may be one where Hodge feels like he got the worst end of that.
Crafty little turn, quick feet. If you're Hodge, there's no need to go in that rash and swing your leg at it. Just move your feet, put your body in between the ball and Ikaza. 20 minutes in, not what you want. One of your 3 center backs on a yellow card.
Oh, number 5. Yep, thank you.
Leading ball for Allen. Allen whips the cross, and Barrow got a piece and cleared away before Myers could converge. Archer. Time in the Trinidadian national team alongside Hodge. Minutes gone. Fast control of this game has belonged to Charleston. Haven't really created an otherworldly number of chances, right?
It's been very cagey from both sides. Yes, Charleston has had most of the ball, but it's been mostly in that middle third, not really threatening that back line. Talk about how clinical can you be in both boxes. You get your opportunity. Do you make it count? 12 goals on the year. Markanek.
I was asking if it sort of felt like you're carrying like a rabbit's foot or something, or a 4-leaf clover. Myers, they brought in knowing he could score. And I spoke to the staff at Rutgers. They rave about this guy. Markanek, really solid year last year. But to score now 5 games running for Markanek, 4 games running for Myers, there is an element of efficiency that goes beyond expectation. There is an element of like ride the hot hand and enjoy it while it lasts, because in theory you create this many chances, someone should score, but the idea that it's those two game after game after game, it's a phenomenon.
I do think you have to give credit to the work rate that they do off the ball. Making those runs, the ability to get on the end of things, to understand where to be when players underneath them have their head up. Once again, very sloppy from Hartford.
Torres, Allen chops that up for the backside, was seeking Marcanic. By the way, it's now a good time to mention Nick Marcanic's going to join the show on Sirius XM FC on Tuesday. Ball tapped ahead. Sort of whittling his way through. Now the flag's gone up. It was offside, that little interchange, far side of the penalty area.
Number 2, interfering.
There's a good article that just came out about him from Transfer Market. At this point, it's just going week after week and grabbing the guy leading the Golden Boot race. Did a great piece on Wilson Harris, now Marcanic.
You're good, man. You're good. You're good.
Barrow brought down by Chapman. Game sort of bypassed Chapman a little bit today, hasn't it?
Wasn't able to make his impact felt, either him or Harrison. A double pivot for Hartford Athletic. And that was one of the topics of conversation that we had with Brendan Burke. Yes, you want to sit to a mid to low block, you want to suffer a little bit, but at the right place, at the right time, that's when those two experienced players can dictate tempo, but that has not been the case. Been very sloppy, unable to connect and make your impact felt whatsoever.
Wanda V. Torres serving, and Barrow diving out. Came down to Epps. Foul given. Oh, that kid with the shades in the background. Styling and profiling. Wow. These ball kids are showing more and more style. I was unprepared for that. The barrel. Myers pressing.
Just no real options to play between lines.
Yeah.
Result of that, you play direct.
Yeah.
Charleston Battery had the ability to win that initial ball, and then once again, it's a counter press.
The barrel just got hit. One thing Brendan Burke said, and it wasn't necessarily a knock on Charleston, but when they come through and press center backs and goalkeepers, they'll make contact. And Hibero waited far too long to release.
It's a good first touch, to be fair. It's a little bit of contact. I don't think there's any ill will intent from MD Myers. You just see the triggers for Charleston Battery. When this ball gets played back to the opposing goalkeepers, they come and they come quick. Try to close down that space and force anything that they can, get any sort of touch on this ball.
Meanwhile, as he's being attended to, like,
he is matching.
Woke up feeling dangerous.
Look at the coordination of the colors. Sunglasses, shorts, shirt.
Kid in the academy. Chopping it up. Hibero's back up, by the way. You know, Ricky, I'm disappointed because I'm going to make you sound older than you are. But in your era, I feel like the fit check was just coming into vogue. But you didn't get to experience the full extent of
I did not.
Athletic fit checks. This kid's living the dream that fashion boy Ricky here never got to experience.
Living through him.
It's very vicarious.
Yeah, there.
Big diagonal to restart play here for Hartford.
He's getting all the cameras on, that young man is.
Hodge, Epps, Hairston, Scarlett.
Just seems like Hartford's stuck in first gear. No real way to find and break through this line of Charleston Battery. It's been so sloppy.
Bad giveaway, Juan David Torres. Whipped a shot. Ultimately, Allen corrals. Forgot to Dos Santos. Allen intervenes. Took it away from Galena. Hey, Dos Santos. Oh, wow. Puts him on skates. Another attempt at trying to cycle that home. And the whistle apparently gone elsewhere. I mean, when you're feeling it, I guess.
And you have two outside backs that have the ability to break down individual players. Santos on this near side, Segbers on that far side. So many options for Ben Pierman.
Koenig for Myers. Away from goal. Sent centrally. Allen stabs it down. Allen went for goal. Ribeiro.
Once again, Mike, there's just so much time and space, about 25 yards in, to pick up their head, to find a pass, to pull the trigger. Just no real intent or intensity from Hartford Athletic. Whether you are Jay Chapman, Roland Harrison, you have to have the ability to step up and close down that space. You cannot give Chris Allen the ability to pick up his head about 25 yards out.
Grinwis lives the most privileged life of any goalkeeper in the championship right now. First goal's free. Scooped upfield by Scarlett. That's over the head of Ikaza. On David Torres. Flicked inside. Markanik back. Allen. A little English on it. All right, if you're Hartford, hasn't been all that swift, half an hour in. Seems like they're struggling to get the ball through the lines. Is this something where you play more direct, try and create something through a Galena or Mario Williams? Do you continue to make this effort to advance the ball? Because it just seems like they have not been on the same wavelength yet.
100%. I do think you have to play direct. You have to play into Mario Williams and try to win second balls higher up the field. And at least what that'll do, that relieves some of the pressure that you've been under. You gain some real estate higher up the field. And once you win those balls, then you can operate in around the 18-yard box. But playing between lines hasn't been clean enough. Also haven't found their intended target. It's been very one-dimensional and very sloppy from the visitors here. Romario Williams, we talked about him, his profile. He wants to pin defenders back. He wants to bring players into this game, so you need to feed him. And Michi Galena, the ability to stretch opposing players. Something we have not seen from Hartford Athletic.
Galena, Young Player of the Year back in Colorado Springs under Brendan Burke. actually came up with Brendan at Bethlehem Steel. Crazy part was he debuted in the league in 2018. He wasn't named Young Player of the Year until 2022. Reminder of just how young he was when he came in. Good ball to spring Torres into space. Vital intervention. Madia, the left wing back, playing from behind the center circle up through Epps. Walking Segbers in. Cross is, well, as simple as it's going to be for Grinwis.
There's no real threat for Smith, Archer, or Grinwis. 33 minutes in, been very easy for the defending structure of Ben Pierman. Once again, you just see how easy it is to play between lines. The real estate that Arcana can operate in underneath MD Myers.
Torres, again, that got blocked in part. Torres steps out in front. Torres, that going to the backside. Kaza was trying to get some kind of touch on that.
As he gets denied initially, just watch the movement, the lack of effort, the confusion between two Hartford Athletic players. Torres has been a bright spot in this 2024 campaign for Ben Pierman. Showed up in an open tryout. The talent that he has, left foot, likes to combine with players, and always puts opposing sides under a lot of pressure.
It is a battery corner. He's not just your regular, I showed up at training one day kind of trialist. He was in the Corinthians under 20s in Colombia. It took about a day for Ben Pierman to call Lee Cohen, president of the team, and say, "You gotta sign this guy." Revelatory already. Torres playing this to the top of the area. Allen blocked, hangs in the air, flicked along. Ikaza. Well, Ikaza's feeling like he's on the verge of a goal today for sure.
But as this ball recycles, just watch the right side of your screen, whether it is Ikaza, whether it is Koenig. The way that they peel off, they're anticipating the second phase, but give credit to Ribeiro. He comes off his line very quickly, does just enough to throw off Ikaza.
Epps, he got swarmed. Ball caroms kindly. Allen again. Pitchforks that ahead. Koenig was trying to find Myers. Down to Ikaza. Segbers. Malloy. Koenig came to the ball. Torres. Touch dragged him outside. Dos Santos got megged, and he pays it back. He receives a yellow.
Just see the glimpse of what Michi Galina can be. 1v1, so clever, so slippery. Straight through the leg. It's a transitional foul for Dos Santos. That's exactly what he's doing. As he joins Hodge in the book of our center referee.
That's the second card Matthew Thompson has issued today. Another to Leland Archer. Skimmed off the foot of Malloy, upfield from Chapman. Epps available, running that inside channel. Scarlett. Was looking for support wide. Beckford has been non-existent. Chapman has been played over. I mean, these are guys that Hartford, we're hoping we're going to make substantial impacts today. Charleston has just choked them entirely out of the game. Hartford have 1/100th of an expected goal through 36 minutes.
Just haven't really offered anything going forward. The only action was Marcus Saps from about 30 yards out. He just mishits it. But it's also the balance as well, Mike. You just see the gaps open up. Look at the center of your screen. There's no one in a white jersey in a radius of about 10 yards. Just so easy for Aaron Malloy, Chris Allen, just to pick their head up, spray the ball from left to right, and then it's the ongoing movement that's causing all sorts of problems. Players aren't getting tracked. There's no communication whatsoever. Once again, you have to be very frustrated if you are Brendan Burke here.
Samadia acquired out of the Israeli second division. Senior international for Sierra Leone. Hairston gesturing as if he had had his jersey tugged. Matthew Thompson is unrepentant. Have you ever met a repentant referee? I've enjoyed the role of Allen today.
The understanding how to play with Aaron Malloy. As one goes, the other one stays home. They share the field, but they also cover so much ground, defensively, offensively, and always playing a supporting role for players underneath them, ahead of them. They are the heartbeat of what Ben Peterman's trying to do here.
That's a high hand. Brendan Burke hands behind his head. Whistle's gone against Beckford.
Just watch the left arm of Beckford here. Always going to get yourself in trouble when you have the extension. Best look at it here. Catches he calls it straight in the face. Yes, you want to have your arms out to protect yourself, but once you get around the head area, the head height, that's when you get in trouble.
Yellow card, nothing more, right? Anytime the
100%.
hand gets above the shoulders, you always ask the question.
In this instance, I do think the yellow card is exactly what he deserves.
Well, 40 minutes gone, and for all Charleston has done right, and I guess the best way to put it is they've not put a foot wrong. Only a 1-goal lead to show for it against the Hartford team that does have a ton of attacking weaponry. The way there already was, you'd have to say a pretty shocking upset. Well, it was at Memphis earlier today. Memphis down the Rowdies, and Tampa Bay fall from the ranks of the unbeaten, leaving just Charleston and Sacramento without a loss. That was a Stephen Glass special.
They needed it as well.
They did. Also great to see Pete Pranica back on the mic, the Memphis Grizzlies announcer, perhaps best known for that. Also the inaugural voice of 901 FC, coming off of back surgery about a week ago for a herniated disc. He was already back in the booth today. Happy to see that. And the referees were on time, which Memphis fans certainly will appreciate. Big diagonal hit for Torres. Chapman. Malloy. You know, one of the fun parts about seeing Malloy and Chapman today, although we really haven't seen that matchup blossom the way we had hoped, is that Malloy played at Michigan, or rather at Reading United under Brendan Burke. Chapman played at Michigan State under Ben Pierman, so both managers sort of know the key tempo setter on the other side quite intimately. Dos Santos, Allen, top of the penalty area, the spin, the ball flicked along. Torres tried to keep it moving. Splays out to Galena. Epps into space for Beckford. I've seen a couple of slips here. Beckford, one of the most fleet of foot in the league, leading. Galena crossing. Oh, it's off the woodwork and out the other side from Williams. Hartford nearly equalized. They have had their backs against the wall the whole half and nearly pulled one back.
It's the off-the-ball running. First, it's Galena off the shoulder of Smith to put in a quality service. Bit awkward height for Williams, but you get anything on it, you put it on target, you give yourself a chance. Just so unfortunate for the visitors here, but you just see how explosive they can be if there is real estate to run into it. 2 passes, almost tied this thing 1-1.
I can't help but think about, it was, what, 90 seconds into the game against Las Vegas? Breakdown for Charleston. It's a 6-0 win. Sometimes the coach will say, yeah, it was great, we need to move on. They spent a lot of time talking about one specific play, saying, if we went down 1-0 in this moment, we aren't winning 6-0. We may not win the game at all. It changes the entire outcome. And so Beckford getting that free run, then Galena cutting inside and finding a central run from Williams that's unmarked. It's one moment out of 44 minutes. All of a sudden you could be level right at halftime.
And it's a trickle-down effect. I do think if you're Ben Pierman, you're going to look at that film and say, number one, if you're Dos Santos, you don't need to go down that early. Just move your feet, keep Beckford in front of you, and then it's a rotation in the communication between Smith and Archer. Time and space on the ball, you need to drop. You need to drop a little bit deeper so Michi Galena cannot make that run. And when the other center back gets pulled out, that's when you need Archer to be goal side of Romario Williams.
But aren't we hearing it from Charleston? We aren't going to be complacent. We're going to continue to approach everything professionally. There's an option out here. He is all alone. Torres touches forward. Good from Scarlett. Get in there in the nick of time.
Once again, a little bit of confusion between Hartford Athletic. Their shape is all over the place. You're playing at the back three, so yes, you want to be narrow, but Scarlett is playing central, right in front of Van Zeal. But give credit to him. It's a recovery run. It's a timing of the challenge. It's been a really good opportunity for Charleston Battery to double their lead here.
MUSC Health presents stoppage time. Service through. Ibero got a piece. 4 added minutes. Where did we get 4 minutes? Genuinely, I don't know that the ball's been out of play for 4 minutes.
I think the only stoppage we had was Ibero going down.
Right.
That's the only thing.
And to be fair, it may have taken us 2 minutes to collectively get our jaws off the floor after the goal. The 12th of the season by Markanek in the 12th minute. Myers pressing and Barrow knocks it wide.
That's a trigger right there. When opposing teams, they play negative, you start to see the numbers for Charleston Battery. It all comes down to MD Myers. He's a first line of pressure, and it's the players underneath them. How compact can they be, and how quickly can they recover the ball? And it comes down to decision making for Hartford. Yes, you can fancy yourself playing between the lines, but there's nothing wrong with playing direct and relieving the pressure that you've been under.
Nice toss. Stand's been full here in Charleston to start the year, and for good reason. This is the greatest show on grass the championship right now. Hartford able to slip this ahead. Williams was offside. I don't know if they traveled with extra cleats, but there may be a lot of boot exchanges at halftime, a lot of slippage.
So you switch the soft grounds, the 6 metal studs.
For the uninitiated, 6 metal studs, as opposed to,
I don't know the exact number, but I think it's 12 rubber studs. I think that's what they have. Or you can do a hybrid, so I do think it's 6 metal, 6 rubber. Plethora of options.
I can follow Joe Buck into the broadcast lore by asking what's longer, 5/8 or a half. One of the great broadcast lines that was, I think, dripping with sarcasm, but I'm not sure that it was taken that way by America at large. Let's talk about exchanging shoes at halftime. Sometimes I take from your knowledge, Ricky. Yeah, hang in the air. Segber's dealing with some Madia. That'll get over the line.
But it's been a little bit better over the last 2-3 minutes for Hartford Athletic. Start to realize that we can play into that front line a little bit quicker. Into Marcus Epps, into Romario Williams, and Beckford as well.
Another half minute or so. Hartford quite clearly could have pulled on to level terms around the 41st minute. Really their only decent chance of the game. And Charleston might be content, although it's hardly ever possible to call them content, to take this to halftime with a 1-0 lead. Segbers peers forward. Epps closed it down. We've gone the 4 minutes, and Matthew Thompson has seen enough. The goal we got was by its lonesome worth the price of admission. Nick Markanek with an absolute stunner. 12 goals on the year. Came in the 12th minute, 1-0 at the half.
I do think if you're Ben Pierman, you have to be very pleased with that first 45 minutes, but the second goal is going to be so much more important to give you that little bit of breathing room between you and Hartford Athletic, because you know Brendan Burke, he's going to get into his team, and he's going to ask for a challenge. He's going to ask for a reaction. It's going to be very interesting this next 45 minutes.
Halftime here in Charleston. And the Battery are owning this game. One of 2 unbeatens remaining in Game 10, looking as good as they have all season. That young man looking good as they went all season too. Markanek, what a goal, 1-0 at the break.
Innovation means training tomorrow's leaders in the latest technologies, because we know the next idea to change the future of medicine may well come from them. At the Medical University of South Carolina, innovation is who we are.
Hola.
¿Alguna otra cerveza?
No, Michelob Ultra.
Ok, ahora vuelvo.
I can't wait a moment more.
Mr. Messi.
Michelob Ultra, cerveza light superior.
Every lottery ticket purchase keeps education in our state moving forward. Like in 2005, when lottery proceeds helped purchase new school buses that kept South Carolina students on the road to success. Because arriving safely to school every day is the first important step on their journeys to the careers and lives they always dreamed of. When you play the lottery, you're helping fund the futures of students all over our state, which is why education is our middle name.
Innovation means developing novel therapies for patients today and taking the first steps toward life-changing discoveries decades in the future. At the Medical University of South Carolina, innovation is who we are.
Welcome back. Halftime in Charleston, and the Battery with a 1-0 lead over a listless Hartford Athletic. Ricky, Mike, let's get you caught up on some news and notes around the USL Championship and beyond, including a coaching change in Oakland. Noah Delgado is out. It's a very quick trigger for the Roots.
Wasn't working for Noah Delgado, what he's meant to that side, so now you're bringing Gavin Gilton. What does this look like in the first 10 after games? Tom Dwyer, he's going to make his debut soon. For the Oakland Roots, really big opportunity, and they have an Open Cup game around the corner against San Jose Earthquakes.
20 of the 24 championship clubs remain alive in the Open Cup. We'll show you that a little bit later. Meanwhile, Player of the Week, Player of the Month, Player of the Year.
100% Goal of the Week as well. Has to be this week. Fantastic.
Nick Markanek does it again. Now, there's a ton of games going on around the championship. The out-of-town scores are brought to you by Charleston International Airport. Pittsburgh already ahead, Keziah Sterling in that game. Meanwhile, Memphis, what a vital result. Marlon, 2 goals and an assist against the Rowdies.
They needed it as well, and it was interesting, Mike, because the Tampa Bay Rowdies, a game that they were fantastic against New Mexico, so you knew going on the road was always going to be a challenge. They dropped points at Memphis. Miami FC struggling. Once again, Antonio Torino needs something from that young group.
Action continues later today with San Antonio and Oakland. And then late into the night, including Monterey Bay and Indy 11 over on CBS Sports Golazo Network. Colorado Springs and El Paso. At least one of those teams has a win now.
That's going to be an interesting one. You look at both teams, there's talent on the roster, right? And you'd expect more points. But like you said, it's just mind-boggling that there's only one win between those two teams. But the one that I think is going to be really interesting, Las Vegas Lights losing 6-0 against the Charleston Battery side of New Mexico that got battered by the Rowdies. That one's going to be a revenge game, and they need a reaction from both of those sides.
Certainly so. Meanwhile, it's 1-0 here in favor of Charleston. As good as they've been on the field, they're certainly busy off the field as well.
Hi, I'm Rob Salvatore, and I'm the chairman of the Charleston Battery.
Hey, I'm Jamie Lentz. I'm the chef partner of Fifth Street Group and Tempest Restaurant.
We came up with this program, Goals for Gardens.
I had the idea to donate $100 for every goal scored by the Battery this season.
That led us to the Green Heart organization.
My name is Jesse Blum. I'm the executive director of the Green Heart Project. We build school and community gardens for purpose of education and purpose of building a sense of community around healthy food and healthy activity.
To prepare it, wait, can I get, okay? We're supporting a farmer who's local to us, who lives in our community.
Go get it, Doug.
When termites show up, so do we. Terminix it.
Pain doesn't care who you are or why you hurt, but pain can be mastered if you know the way. Fight back with Tiger Balm's legendary herbal power. Trusted for over 100 years, our proven blend of camphor, menthol, and essential oils tames pain with the strength and speed of the tiger, so that you can rise above pain and get back to living. This is the way of the tiger.
From distance, oh, what an effort, and it's special.
Manchoma fires!
Looks great.
When termites show up, so do we. Terminix it.
I always tell my friends that if they want everything in one weekend, they should come to Charleston.
I think you'll feel the love when you visit Charleston.
Welcome back to Charleston, South Carolina. Vamos, how about it? The Open Cup continues next week with a round of 32. Many fans will be focused on those USL versus MLS matchups. A great history of cup sets when USL teams have pulled off upsets against the First Division MLS sides.
Mertz again trying to play in Dikwa. Dikwa's in behind. Dikwa's open the scoring.
Chest it down. Oh, that is spectacular. It's a cup set for Union Omaha.
Kasim cutting inside. And there it is. Cup set magic in the air tonight. Saved by Viniello. Rodrigo Lopez. It's improbable. It's indomitable. It's another cup set.
Couldn't say it any better. Tyler Tarrant's Apple TV's own, former voice of Phoenix Rising. What cup set, if any, do you like as we look into the round of 32? What game do you like here?
I think you have to look at the proximity one. It has to be San Jose Earthquake against the Oakland Roots. What that means to the community. The Earthquakes haven't been the best in MLS play, and the Oakland Roots, we talked about that coaching change. You know they're going to be a little bit motivated, so that's going to be the one that I'm going to take my eye on.
Yeah, you and me both. Ooh, the town, am I right? That's about Earthquakes too, not about Oakland. Here's what's coming up on Wednesday night. Charleston enters the tournament by virtue their top 8 finish in the championship last year. They'll see South Georgia Tormenta out of League One. Hartford already out of the Open Cup, one of the 4 teams already eliminated. Count me in on the Chirundolo derby. Lights against LAFC.
Yeah, my eyes go to that bottom 3. New Mexico, RSL, Seattle, Lou City. That one's going to be very interesting. We're going to be on the call for that with Danny Cruz is probably the best playing team in USL Championship against Seattle Sounders. What they've meant to the Open Cup. And then the one that you said, a team that had a connection. New look, Las Vegas Lights under Dennis Sanchez and LAFC.
I was in Seattle last night. I stopped by Starfire. You can smell the Open Cup in the air. It's 1-0 in favor of Charleston here. You can smell goals in the air. The Battery are on fire. Highlights coming up.
When we took this job, we knew that the future was the EX90.
A lot of people are excited about it.
We're really happy to see the EX90 on the line.
I'm Tamara Thompson.
And Rachel Gillum.
My name is Eric Brown.
And the Volvo EX90 was made by us.
Is for the way you look. Oh, is for the only one I see. V is very, very extraordinary. E is even more than anyone that you adore can love. Is all that I can give to you.
This is your vacation. Your beach, your fields of green, skies of blue, mountains of majesty. You're an athlete, you're obsessed, you're in love, you're in pain, spirit drained, in agony, fighting gravity, because you made a commitment to yourself and others to work on your game, build your frame in blazing heat, exhausted and beat, because when you refuse to yield, your spirit is revealed. You are an athlete. MUSC Health Sports Medicine.
Every lottery ticket purchase keeps education in our state moving forward. Like in 2005, when lottery proceeds helped purchase new school buses that kept South Carolina students on the road to success. Because arriving safely to school every day is the first important step on their journeys to the careers and lives they always dreamed of. When you play the lottery, you're helping fund the futures of students all over our state, which is why education is our middle name.
When we took this job, we knew that the future was the EX90.
A lot of people are excited about it.
We're really happy to see the EX90 on the line.
I'm Tamara Thompson.
And Rachel Gillum.
My name is Eric Brown.
And the Volvo EX90 was made by us.
Welcome back to Patriots Point. Battery up 1-0 on Hartford Athletic. With Ricky, Mike, let's get you caught up on the first half. Really, there's one big moment that's deserving of all the acclaim here for the Battery. It's hard over the course of 30-plus years to have the best goal in franchise history. This one's not going to be far off the mark.
It's just fantastic. It's so instinctual, the ability to pull it out from 12 yards out. But I do think if you're Brendan Burke, ball watching, but take nothing away from this finish. His 12th on the season. I'll say that again, his 12th on the season. Just fantastic stuff from Charleston Battery to start this game.
He's already outscored his performance from last year in total. Meanwhile, you know, Battery could have had another one here in the 34th.
Bit awkward here from Torres, but he just has the pure will to beat not one but two Hartford Athletic players, and I do think that is going to be frustrating from Brendan Burke once again. It's a lack of will, but then it's, once again, the ball circulation here and transitional moments are going to be very important for Hartford Athletic. Romero does just enough to throw off Ikaza.
And then in the 43rd minute, this is how close it could have been to a level game at halftime.
And there's no need if you're Dos Santos to leave your feet that early, but then look at the high line from Charleston Battery. Galena says, thank you very much. Let me just run between the two center backs. Lack of rotation. Romario Williams is going to want this one back. Yes, it's an awkward height. You put it on target, you give yourself a chance, and Grinwis can go over to that post and kiss it.
Here are the Heineken halftime stats. Hartford only 30% of the ball, and I don't know a better way to put it. They look disinterested.
Yeah, just not up to the challenge. They haven't really matched the intensity for the Charleston Battery. In that highlight, we saw Torres outrun about two players. That's not X and O's. That's not game plan. That's just willingness. That's just work rate. That's just wanting it a little bit more. I do think that's going to be the first topic of conversation from Brendan Burke and Hartford Athletic in the locker room.
Charleston out of the huddle and ready to take on this second half. They love playing at home, and you can understand why. The stands are packed, the excitement level reaching fever pitch at Patriots Point. All the while, this Hartford Athletic team, if they got read the riot act last week, and it sure sounded like they did, they probably saw the paint peel off the walls at halftime. Brendan Burke, known to be blunt, probably was. And they find their way back into this. For as bad as it felt, they're still just one goal behind. And if they get any kind of result here in Charleston, you could probably argue it's the best they've had since 2020, the way the Battery are flying. On to the second half we go. It's a Hartford team that's just starting to come together. And when we spoke with Brendan Burke in the lead up to this game, okay, Hairston's second start, Scarlett's first start, handful of guys that were dealing with niggling injuries of late. It reminded him of the start of his time in Colorado Springs, where you're trying to find your best 11, who performs well with one another. You can see Chapman run up to try and grab the ball. Like, someone needs to take this by the horns a little bit for them as well.
And one thing that he mentioned is, look, I'm going to get my experienced players on the field. I want them to really have the ability to suffer together, but also dictate tempo at the right time that this game gives us. So I do think this next 10 minutes for Hartford Athletic is going to be very important for the remainder of this game. How quickly can they get in rhythm, and also how confident can they be to understand we can play like for like with this Charleston Battery side.
Turning in the penalty area, ball aimed at frame. Grinwis knocked it away and puts it over the end line for a corner. And Galena took a half chance and nearly made it a full goal.
You look at it as a positive way for Hartford Athletic. Yes, you hasn't had your best football in the first 45 minutes, but you're only down one goal. It takes one action, it takes one individual brilliant from your front three. Galena twisting and turning, has eyes for that near post, but it's a really good save from Grinwis.
Corner for Hartford. Grinwis, kind of punch you'd hate to see in a bar fight. I wonder if you're Bupenza FC Cincinnati, it turns out.
Yeah. Guy had what, like 7 knockouts or something?
The professional boxer that hit him outside a bar in Cincinnati on Sunday. Yellow card given here. Talk about bad luck, huh?
Not the guy you want to mess with.
No, you didn't run into a member of the Cincinnati Reds. You ran into a professional boxer. Kaza's gone into the books. And while Matthew Thompson figures this out, we'll tell you the Battery back at Patriots Point on Friday, May 24th. They'll see El Paso Locomotive. Tickets are available now via SeatGeek, the Battery's exclusive ticketing provider. Get your tickets now and save up to $10 per seat when you buy in advance. Head to tickets.charlestonbattery.com today. Such a fun experience. This is, I think, one of the better venues if you're a road fan as much as a home fan to come visit. Markanek spotted the run on the far side. Torres, that hit off the crossbar, comes out the other side, and away by Hodge. That skipped up off the grass and hit the woodwork. Charleston nearly doubled their lead.
We talked about his goal-scoring opportunities, but also the vision to bring players into this game. 3 assists on the season, and Torres is very clever on the weak side. Just so disciplined in his positioning. It's a lot of pressure on opposing outside backs. It just gets denied by that crossbar. Changing the point of attack for the Charleston Battery was a point of topic of conversation between us and Ben Pierman.
It was interesting, right? Talking with Ben about you want to press and get numbers together and keep, whether it's Galena, Beckford out of the game. But in doing that, you condense in a way that makes it more difficult to be able to hit that switch and open play up to get down the other way. So to do both, the best of both worlds, is extraordinarily difficult.
And I think they've done it.
Yes.
50 minutes in, you see the balance, you understanding when to break, when to stay compact. And that's a testament to the work rate for the players, how fit they are already, and just responsibility that he puts on his players to understand the type of movements we want between the lines.
This is a really good build-up. Torres knocks it wide. Seeking a Kaza for a throw. I mean, that's the fun part of watching this Charleston team, is they are so balanced. You know, I think back to what Ollie Curtis said when he took over Red Bull as the sporting director there. He said, I want us to play like the energy drinks. Sometimes there's just a really good description that sticks with you. And Brendan Burke, the Hartford coach, speaking about Ben Pierman's side, said it's all the talent of a great professional team, but with the attitude and work ethic of these phonetic college-type programs, the way that they press and the amount of energy they give. And I couldn't help but think it's so much like what he used to deal with in Bethlehem, where it was 16, 17, 18-year-olds. And he said, look, empty the tank for me. We've got 30 guys. Charleston's doing this. They only have 14 available field players today.
It's the efficiency of what they do, the understanding of when to play direct, when to be traditional, when to keep possession and really play what the game has given you. And I do think you described it perfectly. It's the balance. It's the balance of understanding how to play this game and the different opponents that they're going to play against, right? How do you adapt in real time and find real-time solutions? This Hartford Athletic side is sitting a little bit deeper. Okay, we need to move the ball extremely quick. If they press high, we can bypass that first line of pressure. Really high IQ team, this Charleston Battery.
Williams, or was it, by Dos Santos. Mario Williams brought it down. Sneaks it across for Samadia. Sprays ahead for Galena. Kept it in at the end line. And Allen there to knock it out to the halfway line. Kept away from Myers. Brought in by Hodge. Down the line, Samadia. Epps. It's opened up. Epps went for goal, knocked around, and held by Grinwis.
Good movement. As Jay Chapman, he requires a lot of attention. Just watch Chris Allen. He goes with the center midfielder, so that opens up the gap for Marcus Septon. How many times have we seen him find that top corner throughout his USL Championship career?
Madia played it inside. Hairston broke down. Markanek, number 13 in the 12th minute, his 12th of the year. A total stunner. Torres. Stabbed away by Van Kayziel. Chapman got a piece. Drops to Ikaza. Sliding in was Hodge. And as the sun sets alongside the water here, somehow Hodge isn't the one who got that last, I suppose.
It's a confusing one. It does look like he makes that last challenge. Kaza felt the same way.
By the way, we are keeping an eye on the other games in the Eastern Conference ongoing right now. Mentioned Memphis, a 4-1 win over the Rowdies. Forrest Lasso got sent off in the 11th minute of that game. Memphis a winner there. Pittsburgh has held Miami without a shot going into halftime. Isaiah Sterling, the 16th minute go-ahead for the Riverhounds. We're trying to make it 3 wins in a row. Like the Undertaker out of the casket, back to life. Loudon and Detroit featuring in the first half. North Carolina and Rhode Island. Birmingham and Tulsa. Those 3 matches currently scoreless. You knew the Hounds would get right.
100%.
Started to see people social media, right? How warm is Bob Lilly's seat? It's not.
It's not at all.
No.
We're the best team in the league in the regular season last season.
Won the Shield.
Yeah.
Samadia got clipped.
Not an easy thing to do in this league. Just quicker than Ikaza. Needs to be very careful. Ikaza already on a booking. This time's this challenge really late. He's going to be walking a very fine line for the remainder of this match.
You've also got the Open Cup coming up midweek. And play in your mind, you just sort of got that last warning, so to speak. Ikaza covers so much ground. Maybe you recognize it could be better served to ride the rest of the game on the bench.
That's when you look at the man management and the trust in the players that are on the bench, and also how fit are they. I mean, you have a plethora of options. Gutierrez can come in. LaCava needs to get some minutes. I would not be surprised. Maybe Crawford as well. Would not be surprised if you see Ben Pierman pull off Ikaza.
They found a really nice midfield trio. Allen, Ikaza, and Malloy. Epps cuts in on his right. Epps curling! Sun put the sunglasses back on. It's dangerous behind that goal.
And this is what Romario Williams is all about, bringing players in. Marcus Epps from outside in continues his run. And it's about the 3rd time that we've seen him try to bend this ball into that far post. Not enough whip on it to have it cut back. But once again, it's a really good action between those two players, Williams and Epps, understanding the movements, how to play between lines.
Epps and Segbers make peace. Epps has been energetic, I'll give him that for sure. And then that handful of attempts from outside the penalty area, that probably his closest effort yet.
A nice little tactical change as well from Brendan Burke. We saw him play centrally to start the first half, and now he's playing more on this left side. And it's Galina that's playing underneath or alongside of Romario Williams.
Loy wiggled around, Grinwis out to the halfway line. Samadia.
It's been better from the visitors, getting on the ball a little bit more. Really showing a little bit more personality and courage to play.
Myers was running up on Hibero, and he took his sweet time. Chapman played it through. Flag is up on Williams. I'm not sure we're going to have a great view of when that ball was released to see just how close Romario Williams was. I don't think we have one that stretch pass was 30 yards upfield. I have an image that'll give clarity to that. So the AR is deemed by all standards correct. The move from Ikaza, Markanik looking to open this up, pulling the strings. Torres. By the way, Markanik has scored again, but Myers, of course, then has not. First pair of teammates to score in 4 successive games in unison. So Myers trying to make that 5. That is a league record already. Seen a couple of guys do it 3 games in a row, but we're in uncharted territory now. Hodge a long way from home. Chapman dealing. Hairston. Williams deep. Samadia. Got Segbers in the air. And accepts a corner for all that work. Both teams talked about restarts being substantial in this game. With an hour gone, maybe a chance for Hartford to find some joy. And Segbers asking for a second. And a gentleman replaced his divot. Regrettably, that's not the only gentlemanly thing he has to do. Service to the backside, dealt with by the battery. Beckford, flick on header, Chapman came back on side.
Frustrating. What are the quality of Jay Chapman? Does too much weight on this ball, does well to get on his preferred right foot. Just loft it into a dangerous area and cause chaos and see what happens. We'll say him and Harrison have been a little bit better getting on the ball. Start this second half.